Chapter 256. Xianxia kept his eyes closed even when he was putting on makeup. He slept until the shooting began. Director Guo had already asked everyone to get into position, but he was still sleeping. She couldn't bear it anymore and kicked his chair. Only then did Xianxia slowly wake up. The scene they were going to shoot today was a fight scene on the battlefield. After Xianxia's brother was killed by the incompetent concubine Xian, the little overlord grew up overnight. He put on armor and went to the battlefield, beginning a long military career. The general's mansion was in great changes, and Chang and city was no longer the little overlord. After Xianxia left, Sun Huanqing finally saw through his feelings. He followed Xianxia to the battlefield and became a military doctor. Usually, the script was shot according to the setting and not according to the plot. Therefore, today's scene was directly skipped to 7 years later. Xianxia had made great achievements in battle, even surpassing her father and brother. Under the instigation of the treacherous officials and concubine Xian, the incompetent emperor began to fear Xianxia. He repeatedly asked her to hand over the military power and marry the incompetent 12th prince to restrain her. Xianxia naturally refused to comply. So, in a war, she experienced the same experience as her brother. She was not defeated by the enemy, but was trapped by her own people. The enemy was in front of them, but they didn't have enough food and fodder, and the reinforcements didn't come. They were in a desperate situation. Finally, it was the last battle of life and death. On the set, all the staff were in position, and so were the visiting reporters. The most nervous one was director Wuxia. If something went wrong this time, he would really kill himself. He was not worried about Ningxi, but Xianxia was still sleeping when the shooting was about to start. He seemed to be in a bad state, which really worried him. Alas. Okay, all departments, get ready. Start. Ningxi was discussing with her assistant Xiao Tao what to eat for lunch. The moment Guo Qixing shouted, the look in her eyes changed. The battlefield was full of corpses, and there were less than 100 people left. Xianxia was covered in blood. Her eyes were scarlet, and her face was full of murderous intent. She was like a walking weapon, ready to kill anything. Just as she was about to be ambushed from behind due to exhaustion, a thin man dressed in green suddenly rushed over and reminded her loudly, "Chang'e, be careful." With the man's warning, Xianxia narrowly dodged the sneak attack. But when he saw who it was, he instantly flew into a rage and grabbed the man's collar with his blood-stained hand. "Damn it! Who allowed you to come here? Get lost!" Sun Huanqing's face was resolute. "I'm not leaving. If we're going to die, let's die together." Xianxia threw him away heavily, his face full of mockery and disdain. "I told you to get lost, so get lost. You're just a pretty boy who doesn't even have the strength to truss a chicken. What right do you have to die with me?" Sun Huanqing stood up, covered in dust. With a flick of his silver needle, he pierced a person's throat. Blood splattered all over his handsome and fair face. At this moment, his eyes did not have the compassion of a doctor, only murderous intent. "And now?" he asked, with a look of obstinate determination. Xianxia turned his head away, his expression conflicted. At this moment, countless complex emotions flashed across Ningxi's face. Finally, she sighed heavily. "You forget it. If you want to come, then come, but don't expect me to be distracted to protect you." Xianxia stretched out his hand and slowly wiped away the blood on Ningxi's face. His expression was gentle and affectionate. In this bloody battlefield full of gunpowder, he looked like a blooming white lotus. "Chang'e, I am your man. I should protect you." Chapter 257. He passed it in one take. The audience burst into thunderous applause, and the reporters clapped with all their might. This scene had both action scenes and emotional scenes. It was very complicated. No one had expected to pass it in one take, so they were both surprised and delighted. "Oh my God, Xiaomai is so handsome. I thought his image would be ruined by playing a weak doctor. What a surprise." Yes, Xiaomai's image has been subverted. I feel that his acting has improved tremendously this time. I don't care who the male lead is now. I just want to see Dr. Sun's scenes. Especially that last sentence, "I'm your man." It's simply too heartfelt, isn't it? So affectionate. I think so too. In the past, when Jiang Mai said such sensational lines to the female lead, I always felt that something was missing. Now I know it's feelings. Jiang Mai is acting with feelings this time. Guo Qixing was so excited that he almost cried. He hugged the assistant director. So touched. I didn't expect it to be so smooth. The reaction of the reporters was also very good. It was a good start. In the resting area, Jiang Mai snorted proudly. What do you think? I told you there would be no problem. All of you only know how to worry for nothing. Ningxi snorted disdainfully. That's because I'm the one acting with you. If it were someone else, you would be stuck at least 20 times. Do you believe it? Don't flatter yourself. If it were someone else, I would be stuck at most 19 times. Jiang Mai said carelessly. Of course, he was so carefree because he knew the other party was Ningxi. Did he think he was stupid? Ningxi's greatest ability was not only to keep the scene under control, but also to bring the other party into the scene and pass it in one take. TSK, Ning Xiaoxi, your skill is really perverted. You're the perverted one. While the two of them were making fun of each other, Lei Ming and Lin Jiji came in. Lei Ming was also very excited. He happily poured drinks and food for Jiang Mai. Not bad, Mai, you did a great job today. It was totally beyond my expectation. You have to keep it up. Seeing that Jiang Mai was praised, Ning, she was unhappy. She looked at Lin Jiji like a kid begging for candy. Sister Jiji, what about me? What about me? Although Lin Jiji was not as excited as Lei Ming, she looked quite satisfied. Very good, but don't let your guard down. Your highlight is the next round. Got it. Ning, she was already very satisfied and happy to get the 3 words, very good. Jiang Mai cast a sidelong glance at Lin Jiji, turned his head away, and whispered, I didn't expect that the tigress would become so gentle after a few years. I've never seen you so gentle to me before. At this moment, Lin Jiji finally looked at him and said expressionlessly, Put yourself in my shoes. If you were me at that time, would you be gentle to yourself? Jiang Mai choked. Fuck. Was he really that much of a bastard back then? It seemed like he was quite a hoodlum, and he was still a hoodlum. Thinking about it carefully, if he were Lin Jiji, he would also want to beat himself up at this time. All the reporters outside were anxious to interview Ningxi and Jiang Mai, but they were all stopped by the director, who said that there would be enough time for interviews after the shooting. Only then did everyone quiet down. Chapter 258. After a short break, the second scene began. Why was this scene the highlight of the show? Because it was the most torturous scene in the whole show, the climax of the whole show, and the turning point before Meng Chang'e entered the palace for revenge. This turning point was crucial, directly related to Meng Chang'e's character setting in the second half of the show and the audience's perception of Meng Chang'e. Due to the huge difference in strength between the two armies, Meng Chang'e still lost this battle. She watched as her assistant, who had risked his life for her, was beheaded and trampled on by the enemy. She watched as her beloved brother was beheaded and humiliated on the tip of a sword. She was separated from Sun Huanqing in the battle, and when she went to find him, she saw Sun Huanqing's heart being pierced by thousands of arrows. She didn't even have time to say goodbye. Huanqing, the last string in Meng Chang'e's heart, was completely broken. She was so angry that her eyes almost popped out of their sockets, and she rushed over. She sat on the ground, looking at the corpse in her arms that was full of sharp arrows, and let out a desperate scream. Ah! 2 streams of tears rolled down her blood-stained cheeks. Ningxi's instantaneous explosive power was shocking, and everyone present was brought into the scene, their hearts wrenching. The next second, Meng Chang'e raised her sword and madly fought with the remaining enemies. Because Meng Chang'e's momentum was too fierce, although there were many enemies, they also became timid. In the end, almost 100 people were killed by her one by one. Ning, she didn't use a martial arts substitute for this scene, but personally went into battle. Her emotions were on point, and her movements were very beautiful, showing a beautiful sense of heroism. The battle finally ended, and she was the only one left alive on the vast battlefield. The entire battlefield was covered in blood, layers of corpses, and tattered flags fluttered in the wind. Meng Chang'e was on the verge of collapse. He clutched his chest and knelt down on one knee, panting in exhaustion. After the great sorrow and anger, she slowly put her lover's head on her knees and wiped the dirt off his face, her expression emotionless. Ningxi's silence during this period was for the purpose of interspersing the memories between the two of them in the subsequent editing. Ningxi's expression was layered, so that even if there was no memory, this silence was not abrupt. Instead, the audience followed the subtle changes in her expression and recalled the bits and pieces since she met Sun Huanqing. A moment later, the memories came to an abrupt end. Meng Chang'e's empty eyes suddenly stared into the distance. That one glance seemed to have passed through the battlefield, through the snowy mountains and grasslands, through the vast desert, all the way to the flourishing capital city, and then leaped over the palace walls, to the hypocritical imperial court, to the luxurious imperial palace, to stare straight at the incapable emperor and the treacherous concubine in the tent, as if there was a gust of wind mixed with blood. She raised her chin and closed her eyes. Gradually, her blood-stained lips curled up bit by bit, like a peach blossom blooming in winter. Strange, yet beautiful, a smile that could topple a city. At this moment, the general who protected the country had died, and the one who was reborn was the demon concubine who brought disaster to the country and the people. The Meng family had been loyal for generations. Her father, 3 brothers, the youngest brother, the person she loved the most, all died on the battlefield. However, the emperor whom she was loyal to, the people whom she protected, forced her into a dead end step by step. This family, this country, this world, what else was worth protecting? In that case, let them all be destroyed. Chapter 259. Ningxi only needed to use a dark smile to fully express all of this deep and heavy grief and hatred that could not be dispelled. This time, the scene was dead silent. Until the end of the shooting, no one dared to make a sound. They even breathed loudly, for fear of disturbing the sorrowful and beautiful soul. Many people's eyes were red, and they didn't even notice it. It wasn't until director Guo Qixing signaled that the shooting was over that everyone suddenly came to their senses and recovered from their grief. Oh my God, I actually cried watching the scene. Sob, 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 sob. I cried too. My heart was so heavy and depressed. Dr. Sun, my Dr. Sun is dead. Ningxi's acting skills are so awesome. Only now do I know that those highlights were just a drop in the bucket, and I finally understand why Guo Qixing insisted on using her despite the objections of the public. Why isn't Ningxi the female lead? Compared with Shangguaningrong, the female lead who talks about benevolence and morality, Meng Chang'e's character is much deeper. In the makeup room backstage, after removing her makeup, Ningxi's face was still full of grief and killing intent. Even Xiao Tao, who wanted to bring her lunch, didn't dare to get too close to her. Just then, Jiang Mai pushed the door open and walked in. He said calmly, "Leave the lunch here. Don't mind her. She'll be done soon." Okay. Xiao Tao put down the lunchbox and ran away in a hurry, still in a state of shock. Ningxi's appearance just now was really creepy, as if she had been possessed. About 5 minutes later, Ningxi got rid of the possessed state and woke up. He stretched his back, cracked his neck, and grumbled, "Fuck. I was too immersed in the role this time and almost couldn't get out." Jiang Mai squinted at her with a dark face. "Be content, okay? Others can't get out for months if they want to act like you. Some even go crazy. You came out in less than an hour. What else do you want?" Beast. Because he was in a dead state during the scene just now, he didn't know Ningxi's performance. Just now, he especially want to watch the replay and was shocked. He felt that Ningxi's love for him was as deep as the sea. "Hey, where's Sister Gigi? I haven't asked Gigi what she thinks of me," Ningxi asked anxiously. As soon as she finished speaking, Lin Gigi pushed the door open and came in. She took a look at the time on her watch and said in a hurry, "Ningxi, I'm going back to the company in the afternoon. Will you be okay by yourself?" Ah, you're leaving. Ningxi was a bit disappointed. Because I'm no longer needed here, Lin Jiji said with a rare smile. Hearing this, Ningxi's spirits were lifted on the spot. This was undoubtedly the greatest affirmation and trust for her. Then hurry up and do what you need to do. I will take care of myself and be obedient. Okay, contact me anytime if you need anything. All right, I'll send you out. After Ningxi saw Lin Jiji off, Jiangmai looked at her with disdain. Look at your flattering face. Ningxi shot him a look of disdain. You're just jealous that I'm close to Sister Jiji. Speaking of which, I should thank you. After experiencing a scumbag like you, Sister Jiji will cherish an obedient baby like me even more. Jiangmai sneered and looked at her as if she was too naive. You can be complacent. You're going to suffer in the future. Do you think that woman is easy to deal with? Don't blame me for not reminding you when you're tortured to the point of crying for your parents. Ningxi and Jiangmai cooperated well with each other both in and out of the play. There's a lot of material that could be written and broadcast, so the reporters all returned with satisfaction. After the reporters left, Ningxi stretched herself. I'm so tired. Today's battle had finally come to an end. I'm going back to the hotel to sleep for a while. Jiangmai glanced at her. Hotel? Why are you staying in a hotel? Ningxi looked through the script and sighed. You know how many scenes I have to play? There are many big night scenes. It's too exhausting to run back and forth, so I discussed with Sister Jiji and decided to stay with the crew during this period. Chapter 261. In the evening, at 8 Supreme Platinum Palace, Lu Tingxiao and Lu Jingli were the only two people at the big dining table. Xiaobao is not here, and sister-in-law is not here. You are alone. Look at how considerate I am. I even specially ran to accompany you to eat. Lu Jingli sighed. He felt that the house was too deserted, so he ran to turn on the TV. Of course, it was the entertainment gossip channel. The TV was showing the press conference of Su Yimo's latest movie, Star Ocean. It was a grand scene with many stars. Su Yimo was wearing an ice blue Wuxia haute couture silk evening gown. She exuded an ethereal aura and was truly worthy of the title of national goddess. As the boss of Xianxia, Lu Jingli frowned. There's so many resources and so many script for her to choose from. What did she choose? She's a goddess. She's almost a goddess. Can't she have a breakthrough? Oh, by the way, many people in the company think that Su Yimo has that kind of relationship with you. Sister-in-law might have heard about it. Have you explained it to her? Don't make a big misunderstanding. Lu Tingxiao looked calm. Yes. So efficient. Lu Jingli was wondering if this was what the phone call yesterday was about. Suddenly, the picture on the TV changed, and Ningxi's face appeared. Wow. Sister-in-law. Quick, look. Lu Jingli immediately focused. Lu Tingxiao put down his chopsticks and looked at the TV screen with a serious expression. This morning, our frontline reporter came to visit the crew of Under the Heavens, which everyone has been paying close attention to recently. We filmed some interesting footage. After the introduction, the TV screen behind her switched to the big screen behind her. She was holding a long spear and wearing bloodstained armor. She was glaring at Jiangmai and Cyan. Don't expect me to be distracted to protect you. Jiangmai smiled and reached out to wipe away the blood on Ningxi's face. His eyes were full of love and affection. Chang'e, I'm your man. I should protect you. Pooh, cough, cough, cough. Lu Jingli didn't expect to see such an exciting scene. He hurried to comfort his brother. Brother, it's just an act. Don't take it seriously. Don't take it seriously. However, this was not the end. The scene quickly changed to another scene. Ningxi was holding Jiangmai, whose body was full of sharp arrows. Her eyes were filled with despair as she lost her beloved. Lu Jingli stole a glance at his brother's secretive face and laughed dryly. Sister-in-law's acting is really good. Your acting skills are really good. However, the TV seemed to have a grudge against him. As soon as he said this, it began to play a clip of the reporter's interview with Ningxi. What about Ningxi? What kind of man do you like in real life? In other words, what are your criteria for choosing a spouse? Can I have a chat with everyone? My criteria for choosing a partner should be someone of similar age to me, who shares my interests, and who shares the same ideals. Lu Jingli silently counted on his fingers. Their ages were similar. His older brother, Ning Shi, was 8 years old. There was a gap of nearly 3 generations. How could they be considered similar in age? Their interests were similar, but they were worlds apart. They were like-minded. The biggest reason why Ning Shi had refused his brother was that they had different goals. On the other hand, Jiang Mai met all 3 of Ning Shi's criteria. Chapter 262. At this moment, Lu Tingxiao was thinking about carrots. He remembered what Ning Shi had told him the other day. Everyone has their own preferences. Those who like carrots will never like carrots no matter how perfect they are. At that time, he was confident that Ning Shi had feelings for him. He thought it was just an excuse, so he didn't think too much about it. But now he had to face it. Maybe he really was a carrot, not a carrot. Lu Jingli felt a chill down his spine when he saw his brother staring coldly at the carrots in front of him. Brother, are you okay? Why was he staring at the carrots with such a murderous look? Then Lu Tingxiao rang the bell for the butler expressionlessly. He asked him to remove the carrots and told him not to put them on the table again. Lu Jingli was speechless. Even if he was smart, he couldn't understand a man who was in love. At the same time, at the Junlai Hotel in the film city, Ning Shi was about to go to bed after putting on a facial mask. Someone rang the doorbell. Ning Shi was surprised to see the person outside. Jiang Mai, why are you here? I'm with the crew. I'm staying upstairs. Ning Shi was speechless. I have too many scenes, so I have no choice. Why are you here? Can I play more games to save time? Jiang Mai said matter-of-factly. Okay, you win. Ning Shi gave him a thumbs up and asked, so, why aren't you playing your game? Why are you here? Speaking of this, Jiang Mai's face turned gloomy. Fight my ass. The internet is so slow. I lost 5 games in a row and lost my ranking. Come on, let's go to the internet cafe. Hurry up. Ning Shi held her forehead. What game? I'm going to sleep. It's only 9 o'clock. Why are you sleeping? Are you going or not? Who was the one who risked his life to accompany you at 3 o'clock in the morning? It's only 9 o'clock and I can't even wake you up? Ha ha. Jiang Mai sneered, looking at her as if she was a heartless person. Sure enough, she would pay for what she had done. Ning Shi said helplessly, Okay, I'll go, okay? Let me change my clothes. 10 minutes later, the two of them changed into inconspicuous clothes and entered the internet cafe with masks on. Because this was the film city, celebrities often came to the internet cafe. Therefore, the boss was not surprised to see the two of them wearing masks in the middle of the night. He did not carefully compare their IDs and directly let them in. There were no more private rooms, so the two of them found a booth and sat down. Then, they turned on the computer. Ning Shi hadn't logged into the game for a long time and had forgotten her password. A golden fur, what's my password? Jiang Mai rolled his eyes at her speechlessly. Then he walked over and directly entered a series of passwords for her. Thanks. Ning Shi pressed the enter key and logged in. As soon as she logged into the game, system notifications kept popping up. Ning Shi's face lit up when she saw those pop-up windows. Fuck, Tycoon, why did you give me so much skin? And all of them are limited edition. Jiang Mai was furious. Bastard, how could you not see the birthday present I gave you? How many days had it been? Haven't you logged in before? No wonder you forgot the password. Ning Shi knew she was in the wrong. She scratched her head guiltily. I was busy. Jiang Mai's face was cold. It's all excuses. You just don't care. Chapter 263. I'm sorry. You know I'm forgetful. Thank you for the gift. I love it. I'll play with you all night. Okay? Play with me all night. You said it. I said it. I'll help you get back all the ranks you lost. Go. Ning Shi risked her life to play with Jiang Mai for a whole night. Jiang Mai, who hadn't had a good time since he came back to China, finally had a good time. He won 10 games in a row in one night. He hadn't felt this good for a long time. Ning Shi hadn't had a good time for a long time. She yawned and said, Fortunately, we didn't have many scenes in the morning. We can catch up on sleep. Just when they went back to their room and fell asleep, they didn't know that there was a commotion outside. In the end, they were woken up by their agents and called to Lei Ming's room. Isn't there an hour before work starts? Why are you disturbing my sleep so early in the morning? Jiang Mai's hair was like a bird's nest, and his eyes were sleepy. Ningxi was not much better. She almost fell asleep again as soon as her, but touched the chair. Lin Jiji crossed her arms and paced back and forth in the room. Then she looked at them and asked in a serious tone, "What did you do last night?" "Nothing much." They were keenly aware that there was something wrong with her tone, so they shook their heads tacitly and said in unison. Lei Ming seemed to have expected this. He sighed helplessly and handed his cell phone to them. "What is this? Explain it to me." Ningxi rubbed her eyes. "Ah, isn't this last night? Wasn't this a picture of her playing games with Jiang Mai last night?" Jiang Mai suddenly sobered up. "Damn, this is just a back view. How could they recognize me when I'm wrapped up like this?" Therefore, Lei Ming turned to the next picture. This was not a back view, but a clear frontal view. Although Ningxi was wearing a mask, Jiang Mai's face was not. His whole face was clearly exposed. Jiang Mai scratched his head. I was too excited for a while and took off my mask. But I only took it off for less than 10 seconds. Ningxi blinked. Then I didn't expose myself, did I? Lin Jiji poked her earlobe. "Your mole. The person in the photo looks like you, and this mole is too iconic. It's hard not to think of you." Ningxi said, "Who is that?" "He has sharp eyes." Without Lu Tingxiao's reminder, she would have forgotten about this small detail. Jiang Mai's face was gloomy. "When we went there, we used the staff's ID card. We didn't use our own. Who was so bored as to take these photos and post them on the internet? You even noticed a small mole like Ningxi?" Lei Ming spread his hands and said, "He's probably a fan of you, a fan of your CP." Ningxi widened her eyes. "What the hell is a couple fan? Can I have a couple fan?" At this moment, Lin Jiji looked very serious. "Ningxi, I think you should remember that since the first day you came to the company, I've told you that you can't fall in love in your current situation." She had been careless this time. She should have noticed that the way Ningxi and Jiang Mai got along with each other, including their tacit understanding when they were acting and facing reporters, and the fact that they played games together late at night, were definitely not new acquaintances. Especially the way Jiang Mai looked at Ning, she was very unusual. Chapter 264. No, absolutely not. Sister Jiji, you misunderstood me. We're not in love. Ning, she hurriedly waved her hand to deny it. Then she glared at Jiang Mai. "Asshole, can you tell Lin Jiji about our relationship?" Jiang Mai didn't speak, but gave her a casual look. Lin Jiji was Ningxi's agent. It was up to Ningxi to decide whether to tell her or not. Ningxi thought for a moment and had to tell the truth. "Sister Jiji, it's like this. Senior brother Jiang and I met when we were studying abroad. At that time, we dated for a period of time, but it was like playing house. We broke up after a few days. Now we're just good friends. I know I should have told you about such an important thing in advance, but I misunderstood you as Jiang Mai's ex-girlfriend. I was afraid that it would make everyone feel awkward, so I didn't tell you." Lin Jiji was stunned and said in surprise, "I'm Jiang Mai's ex-girlfriend? Who told you that?" Then her eyes fell on Jiang Mai. Jiang Mai's face darkened. "Why are you looking at me? I didn't tell you." She guessed it herself. She rolled her eyes at him. "It's because you're behaving too strangely. Can you blame me for thinking too much?" Seeing that they were about to quarrel again, Lin Jiji pinched between her eyebrows and sighed. "Ningxi, Jiang Mai and I are just an artiste and an ex-agent. You don't have to worry about it." As soon as she finished speaking, an imperceptible cold light flashed across Jiang Mai's eyes. "Well, I know now." Since Lin Jiji said it herself, she naturally believed her. "So, let's talk about how to deal with this matter." After explaining the misunderstanding, Lin Jiji began to talk about business. "Jiang Mai's fans didn't like you before, but that was because they were misled. Now their attitude has changed a lot, and there are even many fans of you on the internet. So, I discussed it with Brother Ming. When the time comes, You can be more ambiguous in your statements or questions from the reporters. You don't have to deny it too thoroughly. Just say that both of you are in the same company, have compatible personalities, admire each other, and are currently very good friends. Leave some room for ambiguous imagination. Ning, she nodded obediently. Oh, okay. I'll listen to Sister Gigi. Jiangmai held his chin and said lazily, I have no objection. Can I go back to sleep now? Ning, she slapped him. Fill up my ass. Wake up. We're about to start work. Jiangmai scratched his head impatiently. Which scene are we going to shoot this afternoon? Ning, she glared at him. Kiss scene. Don't tell me that you haven't seen the script since it was revised. If I were Brother Ming, I would beat you 800 times a day. Anyway, Lin Jiji already knew their relationship, so Ning, she didn't have to pretend to be respectful to Jiangmai anymore. Hearing that, Jiangmai said sarcastically, Humph, the higher-ups told the scriptwriter to delete all the kissing scenes and bed scenes on the grounds that there were too many underage audiences. How could there be any kissing scenes? They're almost all deleted, but didn't they leave some behind? One is the first kiss scene, and the other is the bed scene in the military camp. The kissing scene is the one that was forced to stop because of the hailstorm. The director said that the first scene can be used, and we just need to reshoot the kissing scene later. Oh, I see. Jiangmai murmured. Why did his eyebrows keep twitching? He had an inexplicable, ominous premonition. Chapter 265. Lu Group, CEO's Office. Lu Tingxiao made an internal call to Lu Jingli to come over. Lu Jingli quickly ran over. Brother, you called for me? Have you prepared the materials for the meeting? Yes, here you are. Well, inform all the departments to have a meeting in half an hour. Okay. Lu Jingli didn't leave immediately. He looked a little absent-minded. Lu Tingxiao raised his head and looked at him. What's wrong? Lu Jingli almost jumped up in fright. Nothing. Lu Tingxiao put down the pen in his hand and looked at him with penetrating eyes. Lu Jingli was like a soldier undergoing inspection. He stood ramrod straight and tried his best to remain calm. In fact, his guilty conscience was obvious at a glance. 5 seconds later, Lu Tingxiao finally looked away. Just when Lu Jingli finally breathed a sigh of relief, he saw Lu Tingxiao quickly typing on the computer keyboard and then pressing the enter key. Lu Jingli clearly saw that the letters Lu Tingxiao had pressed were NGXI. Oh no! His brother went to search for it himself. My brother, why are you so quick-witted? After Lu Tingxiao searched for the keywords, the latest and hot news about Ning, she popped up on the internet in an instant. Jiangmai and Ning, she play games late at night, acting intimately, suspected to be in love with each other. Similar age, similar hobbies, like-minded, Jiangning's speed dating index is 100%. Both sides respond that they are just good friends. Fans cheer. Jiangning is named the fastest couple of the year. It was obvious that Lu Tingxiao had seen everything he shouldn't have seen. Lu Jingli closed his eyes and didn't dare to look at his brother's expression. Lu Tingxiao turned off the computer, pulled out a chair, and put on his coat. Jingli, prepare the car. What about the meeting? Postpone it until tomorrow. Then where are you going now? Lu Jingli swallowed his saliva and followed behind her. Inspection. Inspection? Could it be? At the same time, in the film city in the suburbs of Beijing. Because the scene of the first kiss at the Lantern Festival required a lot of manpower and money, they had tried their best to make it perfect. Ning, Shi, and Jiangmai also performed very well, so the director decided to only shoot the second half of the scene to save money and time. In order for the actors to be in a better state, he deliberately sent away all the irrelevant personnel. Finally, everything was ready. Just as Wuxia was about to announce the start of filming, producer Wang Taihe suddenly rushed over and pulled Wuxia to assistant director Zhang Rue. Wuxia was surprised. The boss of Golden Age is here? Why so sudden? But it doesn't matter. Mu Yi and Ning, she's acting skills are fine. If he wants to come, let him come. Wang Taihe slapped his thigh anxiously. Oh my great director, I wouldn't be so nervous if it was only the second young master. It was the big boss. The master of Lu Group. Guo Qixing was dumbfounded. Who? Don't tell me you mean. Lu. Lu Tingxiao? That's right. Laogua. Come with me to welcome them. Zhang Rui. Hurry up and explain to the staff and the two actors. Quick. Got it. I'll go right away. Everything was ready, but the shooting still hadn't started. Guo Qixing and Wang Taihe suddenly disappeared. Seeing Zhang Rui running over, Ningxi immediately asked suspiciously, "What's wrong, Assistant Director?" Chapter 266. Who's coming? Jiang couldn't help looking at Zhang Rui. His eyebrows were pounding. Zhang Rui explained to them in a hurry. The president of Lu Group, Lu Tingxiao, is coming for an inspection. The director is already there to welcome him. I don't think I need to tell you the importance of this scene, right? So you have to do your best today, understand? Ningxi was stunned. Lu Tingxiao, Vice Director, did you make a mistake? It should be Lu Jingli, right? Yes. Lu Jingli is coming too. Go and get ready. Zhang Rui said and hurried off to tell the other staff. Ningxi picked her ears. Golden Retriever, did I hear it wrong? Vice Director said Lu Tingxiao was coming. You didn't hear it wrong. I heard it too. Jiang said with a gloomy face. Damn, no wonder he had a bad feeling about this. So they were waiting for him here. Zhang Rui hurriedly cleared the place and dismissed all the non-essential staff. Then he quickly prepared chairs, drinks, and umbrellas. Soon, the people from the other side arrived. At the front was Lu Tingxiao, who was dressed in a suit and leather shoes. Lu Jingli followed behind him, looking left and right. The two of them were surrounded by the core members of the directing team. Wang Taihe was talking nonstop about the planning and progress of the production team. Guo Qixing warmly invited them to the best viewing spot. Boss Lu, second young master, please take a seat. You made the right choice to come today. Today's scene is wonderful. Really? What's the scene today? Lu Jingli threw a grape into his mouth and asked with interest. Guo Qixing talked nonstop about the plot for a long time. After the script was changed, there was only this kiss scene left. We were trying to achieve the most beautiful effect. Lu Jingli wiped his face. Damn, it's actually a kiss scene. And it seems to be the one on the day of the artificial rain. What luck? He didn't want to say anything else. Lu Tingxiao was expressionless from beginning to end. He was just sitting there, but he gave off a feeling that there was no one around him. It was as if he didn't pay any attention to anyone else. Guo Qixing was a little embarrassed. Fortunately, he had heard about this man's temper, so he didn't take it seriously. Both Ningxi and Mu Ye's acting skills are very good, and the most rare thing is that they cooperate well with each other. The two of them basically finished their scenes in one take. Guo Qixing thought to himself, it's not wrong for me to praise their company's artists, right? Lu Tingxiao sat on the chair and casually took a cup of tea from Lu Jingli. His voice was cold and distant as he said, Is that so? Yes. I don't know if you've seen the highlights on the internet, but yesterday's two scenes were so difficult, but they were all done in one take. Guo Qixing felt a chill down his spine as he spoke. Lu Jingli coughed lightly and stopped the topic in time. All right, let's begin. Okay, let's start now. Guo Qixing went to prepare as if he had been granted amnesty. Lighting, props, cameras, all departments, get ready. Actors, get ready. The staff immediately got ready one by one, afraid that something would go wrong. The fucking big boss is coming to inspect in person. Lu Tingxiao was so busy that he didn't have time to manage the company's affairs, let alone inspect in person. This was unprecedented. He felt that he could brag about this in his WeChat moments for a long time. Chapter 267. When the scene was ready, the two leading actors walked over from the rest area. When Ningxi, who was wearing a handsome red and black outfit, appeared, Guo Qixing didn't know if it was his own illusion, but Lu Tingxiao's empty eyes seemed to focus in an instant. Ningxi glanced at Lu Jingli and Lu Tingxiao from afar. Lu Jingli immediately winked at her and pointed to his cell phone, implying that his brother knew everything. Ningxi's gaze slowly shifted to Lu Tingxiao. The latter's gaze was locked onto her aggressively, like the eyes of a wild beast before the dry season. Hearing the clear sound of the script clerk hitting the board, Ningxi suddenly came to her senses and hurriedly adjusted her mind to enter the play. Meng Chang'e quarreled with Sun Huanqing and ran away angrily. It was getting darker and darker, and Sun Huanqing was getting more and more anxious. In fact, Meng Chang'e had already found Sun Huanqing, but she didn't show up. Instead, she naughtily followed Sun Huanqing. Seeing that he was so anxious for her, her tough face showed a rare look of a little girl. Ningxi played the innocent and shy look of a young girl in love very well. Finally, Meng Chang'e didn't want her Dr. Sun to be so anxious. Just when Sun Huanqing was about to collapse, she suddenly jumped behind him and patted him on the shoulder. She said in a proud and happy tone, "Dr. Sun, are you looking for me?" Xianxia was stunned at first, and then his face was full of ecstasy. He excitedly held her in his arms. Chang'e, Lu Jingli's first reaction was not to continue watching the play, but to look at his brother. Then he was so scared that he peed himself. He hurriedly pulled his brother's fingers. Brother, be gentle. This cup is glass, not steel or titanium alloy. Remember, this is a play, just a play." But before he could even finish his words, crack! The teacup cracked open slightly. Lu Jingli looked up and saw Ningxi slowly taking off the mask on her face. Her eyes were full of love as she looked at Xianxia. Then, she leaned over and slowly approached his lips. "It's over, it's over, it's over. I didn't prepare anything this time." Lu Jingli covered his eyes with his hands, but he couldn't help peeping through the gap. 1 second passed, 2 seconds passed, 3 seconds passed, 4 seconds passed. What was going on? 5 seconds later, Ningxi suddenly put her hand on her forehead and said, "Sorry, I'm not in the right state. Let's do it again." Ningxi actually NG. All the staff, the 2 directors, and the producer were shocked. However, they could understand it. As expected, the boss aura was too strong. Even the spectators were under great pressure, let alone Ningxi. "It's okay. Let's adjust our condition and try again," Guo Qixing comforted. Xiao Tao hurriedly went up to Ningxi and handed her a bottle of mineral water. "Come on, Sister Shi." Ningxi gulped down the whole bottle. Xiaomai squinted at her and said, "I didn't expect you to have stage fright." Ningxi said with a terrible expression, "Don't be sarcastic. It's not like you don't know how scary your uncle is. If you were to be stared at like that, let's see if you can still perform normally." Chapter 268. Soon, the second shoot began. Meng Chang'e patted his shoulder. "Dr. Sun, are you looking for me?" Sun Huanqing turned around and hugged him. "Chang'e," Guo Qixing said, "cut." "Ningxi, watch your expression. Why are you distracted?" Ningxi said, "Sorry." The third shoot began. Meng Chang'e said, "Dr. Sun, are you looking for me?" Sun Huanqing said, "Chang'e." Guo Qixing said, "Cut." "Ningxi, you stared at him for too long. You have to kiss him after 3 seconds, understand?" Ningxi said, "Okay." The fourth shoot, Guo Qixing said, "Ningxi, your expression is too stiff. What are you looking at?" The fifth shoot, the sixth shoot. In the end, Ningxi made 6 NGs in a row. Even Jiangmai was about to break down. He paced back and forth in the lounge. "Damn, I'm gonna have a heart attack. Are you gonna kiss him or not? Hurry up, okay?" Ningxi grabbed her hair. "Fuck, I'm gonna have a heart attack. Can't you let your uncle go back? His eyes are like x-rays. Who the hell can kiss him?" Jiangmai sneered. "He came for you. What can I do to make him go back?" She threw away the wig on her head. "Damn it, I'm so fucked up. Ahem. Hey, watch your image." Seeing that she was about to lose control, Jiangmai reminded her speechlessly. He could tell that she was really under a lot of pressure. He had never seen her in such an agitated state. From another perspective, it could also be said that Lu Tingxiao's influence on her was huge. It was much bigger than what he had imagined. At least no one had ever been able to disturb her acting. At this time, Guo Qixing ran into the lounge with sweat all over his head. He walked up to Ningxi and said earnestly, "Ningxi, what's wrong with you today? Are you too nervous because Lu Tingxiao is here? Calm down. You can't panic now." Ningxi lowered her head apologetically. I'm sorry, director. I'm making things difficult for you. Hey, it's okay. Every actor has a bad NG. Who knew the big boss would come today? We weren't prepared at all. Let alone you, who wouldn't be nervous at the scene. They were afraid that something might go wrong. Do you want to call your manager over? Guo Qixing suggested. Ning, she shook her head. No, don't bother, Sister Gigi. I could do it. Please get ready. Are you sure? I'm sure. 3 minutes later, the seventh take began. Ning, she walked in front of the camera, gritted her teeth, and glared at Lu Tingxiao. The latter gently stirred the tea leaves with the lid of the cup, looking relaxed and satisfied. This bastard definitely did it on purpose. It was even more lethal than hailstones. It was a godly NG tool. Chang'e, Jiangmai hugged Ningxi. Actually, he was also under a lot of pressure, okay? Every time he hugged Ningxi, he felt like his back was pierced by thousands of arrows. Ningxi took off the mask on her face and stared at the man affectionately for 3 seconds. Then she slowly moved closer to him. Up until now, everything had gone smoothly. However, just as she was about to succeed, the disturbing gaze behind her once again forced her out of character, causing her to be unable to kiss him no matter what. Damn it! Ningxi's eyes flashed. Suddenly, to everyone's surprise, she put on the mask again. In the next second, she suddenly covered Jiang Mai's lips with the mask on. Chapter 269. Under the covered bridge, the lanterns were shining brightly and the breeze was blowing. The girl was kissing the young man with a mask on her face. This scene was even more beautiful and exciting than a direct kiss. Cut. Pass. Guo Qixing reacted in time and stopped her. Not bad, not bad. Ningxi, your way of dealing with it is even better. Guo Qixing praised, and the other staff all nodded in agreement. As long as you're satisfied, director. Ningxi forced a smile. Damn it. It was just a sweet kissing scene, not a heart-wrenching one. How could she be so exhausted? Damn it. The next second, her eyes involuntarily drifted in a certain direction. Opposite her, the producer was talking to Lu Tingxiao. Lu Tingxiao sat there quietly, like a dark oil painting in a dark corner of an old castle. No one knew how many years he had been isolated from the world. He was gloomy and cold, and his eyes were filled with heart-wrenching loneliness. Ning, she was burned by his gaze and hurriedly turned away. Sister Shi, where are you going? To the bathroom. Ning, she held her mobile phone and quickly sent Lu Jingli a WeChat message while walking. Second young master, what on earth does your brother want to do? Lu Jingli quickly replied to her. How would I know? Last night, he felt something was wrong when he saw the TV and your interview. This morning, he saw the gossip of you two playing games all night, so he directly canceled the meeting and came to inspect. Did he tell you what he wanted to do, or what plan he had? Ning, she asked hurriedly. After all, knowing oneself and knowing the enemy was the key to victory. You know my brother's temper. How could he tell me such things? Then, is there anything wrong with him? Think carefully. Something is wrong. There seems to be something. Last night, after watching TV, he suddenly stared at a plate of shredded carrots coldly. Later, he told the housekeeper not to serve this dish anymore. Don't you think it's strange? Even I, a smart person, can't figure out what his strange behavior means. Ningxi immediately thought of the words pulling out carrots. It seemed that Lu Tingxiao had completely misunderstood her relationship with Jiang Mai. Ningxi thought for a moment and typed another line of words. How's your brother now? He should be fine, right? She had been forced to use all her intelligence to come up with the idea of kissing through the mask. What's so good about that? The moment you kissed me, I felt like I was in a 10,000-year-old ice cave 100,000 meters below the Arctic Circle. Did you make it? Oh yes, little Cece, where are you? Be careful. My brother isn't in my sight at the moment, and I don't know where he went. I guess he's going to catch you. Be careful. The moment Ningxi read the last words sent by Lu Jingli, a shadow suddenly fell over her head. Then an oppressive pressure covered the sky and covered the earth. In the next second, she felt a grip around her waist and in a moment of dizziness, she was pushed into the washroom at the side. With a loud bang, her back slammed heavily against the door. Before she could cry out in pain, her voice was swallowed up by the scorching and crazy aura. At that moment, there was only one thought left in Ning Shi's muddled mind due to the lack of oxygen. Fuck! Lu Jingli, you bastard! You did it on purpose, didn't you? Why didn't you just tell me the main point and remind me earlier? Chapter 270. In her eyes, Lu Tingxiao had always been a gentleman, strict, restrained, and polite. However, this aggressive and destructive kiss had subverted all her previous knowledge. His waist was in so much pain that it felt like it was about to snap. The taste of blood lingered in his mouth, and the root of his tongue was almost numb from being pulled. He felt like he was going to be swallowed alive. Ugh. Lu. Once she showed any signs of resistance, the other party's suppression became even more severe. He was like an arbitrary tyrant. The sudden pain in her neck made her frown. The man in front of her had completely lost his mind like a beast that had seen blood. He was so unfamiliar that it made her flustered. Ning, she secretly pulled out the wooden hairpin on her head with one hand and quickly pointed the sharp end at the man's defenseless neck. Lu Tingxiao, if you don't calm down, don't blame me for helping you calm down. Lu Tingxiao's kiss stopped at her collarbone, but it was only for a moment. Then, as if he was provoking her, he kissed her lips again fearlessly. There was no sign of him stopping. Ning, she felt a deep sense of helplessness in her heart. Does this guy have the ability to read minds? He knew that she couldn't hurt him, and he knew that she couldn't bear to let him go. She suddenly thought a story she had read before. The man that a girl loved was cursed and turned into a beast, but even so, the girl didn't leave him. In order to prevent him from hurting the people in the village and being hunted down, she secretly raised him with her own flesh and blood at that time. After reading the story, she felt that the girl was simply an idiot. But now, she had become that idiot. Lu Tingxiao's kiss lingered on her sensitive earlobe. Ning, she finally got a chance to speak. She hurriedly said, Lu Tingxiao, have you forgotten what you promised me? Or are you going to go back on your word? Hearing her voice, the man seemed to have finally come to his senses. After a short pause, he answered in a hoarse voice, Inspection. Ning, she was so angry that she almost laughed. Inspection? Who inspects like this? If you sit there, who can act properly without being disturbed? Professional, the man said again. Do you mean that I'm not professional? I'll fucking fine. I really wasn't very professional today, but next time I definitely won't be able to do it again. Also, if that was an inspection, then what are you doing now? Ning, she asked word by word. Lu Tingxiao held her tightly in his arms like a child who had just snatched his favorite toy from someone else, not saying a word. At this moment, Ning Shi's heart was in a mess. All the dark emotions that she had deliberately suppressed in her mind surged up at this moment, forcing her to face them and make a decision. After an unknown period of time, just as she was about to drown in the man's warm embrace, she finally came to her senses. She took a deep breath and said, Lu Tingxiao, you gave me 7 days. There's no need to wait for 7 days. I can tell you now. I don't want to hear it. Lu Tingxiao's expression tightened, and he immediately went to kiss her again, trying to stop what she was going to say next. A trace of helplessness flashed across Ning Shi's face. She turned her head to avoid his lips. Lu Tingxiao, listen to me. Afraid that she would hesitate, Ning Shi closed her eyes, looked at him, and said in one breath. Chapter 271. Lu Tingxiao, I've told you from the start that I already have someone I like. Thank you very much. Very. I like him very much. Although I can't be with him for some reason, he will always be in my heart. No one can replace him. There is no extra space. No matter how good and perfect that person is, he can't be with me. Do you understand? Hearing Ning Shi's words, Lu Tingxiao's back stiffened. His eyes were full of ice and snow. He pinched her chin with his fingers. Liar. Ning Shi, you're lying. Ning Shi raised 2 fingers and looked at him with clear eyes. Then I swear, if I lie, I will never be famous. I will be struck by lightning, and I will be hit by a car when I go out. Shut up. Lu Tingxiao couldn't bear it anymore. He pushed the door open and rushed out. Hearing the footsteps of a man leaving, Ningxi almost collapsed. That's right, Ningxi, you did nothing wrong. You should have done this earlier. You were greedy for too long. You couldn't give up for too long. When Ningxi finally recovered and walked out, she was surprised to see a man standing quietly against the wall with a burnt cigarette in his hand. She didn't know how long he had been there. Xianxia, Ningxi was stunned. Xianxia exhaled a long smoke ring and chuckled. Just now, you said that the person you like very, very, very much is irreplaceable, no matter how good others are. That person is Lu Tingxiao, right? Huh, it's rare for someone as smart as Lu Tingxiao to make such a stupid mistake. Ningxi remained silent and did not speak. Xianxia tilted his head and looked at Ningxi quietly. You rejected him, but you seem to be in a worse state. He had not seen her like this for a long time. The only time he saw her like this was on someone's death anniversary. At that time, she was in a similar state as she was now. Her whole body seemed to be wrapped in a dark swamp, and there was no light or vitality around her. Xianxia suddenly didn't know what to say. He lit another cigarette impatiently. When he heard Ningxi rejected Lu Tingxiao, he didn't feel happy at all. Instead, he felt sad. He knew that Ningxi had completely fallen in love with Lu Tingxiao. However, even Lu Tingxiao didn't succeed. Who was he? A coward who didn't even dare to say Xianxia sighed and finally said the words that had been lingering in his heart for a long time. Ningxi, in fact, you don't have to do this. If you really like him, then let's be together. As soon as he finished speaking, he felt a sense of relief. Ningxi forced a smile. Xianxia, you were the one who opposed it the most, weren't you? Xianxia raised his eyebrows and said in a relaxed tone, I object to it because I don't want you to be my aunt. But you're my best friend after all. I hope you can be happy. With that, he looked at her seriously. Ningxi, I didn't believe that Lu Tingxiao was sincere before, but now, as long as he really likes you, he won't care about your identity, status, or profession, and he can protect you from being wronged. Ningxi's face gradually darkened. Xianxia, you don't have to say anymore. How good would it be if it was just status and occupation? Whether it was identity, status, or occupation, as long as she was alive, she could change it. But what about what had happened in the past? How is she going to change? How is she going to change the fact that she was raped and gave birth to a bastard 5 years ago? Don't be afraid. I won't torture you. I promise I won't torture you. This is a necessary process. Ningxi must pass this hurdle. The devil will know Ningxi's feelings. Don't forget that there is a recording. Chapter 272. After Lu Tingxiao returned from the set, Lu Jingli knew that it was all over. The sky was going to fall. His brother was even scarier than when he had just taken over the company. At that time, his father had suddenly fallen seriously ill and was on the verge of death several times. All the branches of the family were eyeing the position of the successor, and some even tried to drive a wedge between the two brothers. The entire family was in a bloody mess. At that time, Lu Tingxiao was like an emotionless god of death. He was swift and decisive, and his methods were extremely harsh. He single-handedly put down the internal strife that almost toppled the entire Lu family. Now, Lu Tingxiao was like a beast that had been awakened from a deep sleep. His entire body was shrouded in a layer of dangerous, murderous aura. Lu Jingli wanted to comfort him, but Lu Tingxiao had chased away all the servants in the house and locked himself in the villa alone. He had set the highest level of clearance so that no one could enter the villa except him. Lu Jingli was afraid that something would happen to him. He was even afraid that he would blow up the house, so he kept pacing outside the door worriedly. He waited for an entire night. Lu Tingxiao still didn't come out. Furthermore, an even worse situation occurred. Early in the morning, Old Master Lu personally called him and asked him to go back to the old mansion immediately. He sounded very displeased. The Lu family's old residence. In the living room, Old Master Lu and Old Madam Lu were both sitting on the sofa. Their expressions were extremely ugly. The alarm in Lu Jingli's head was beeping happily. He He reacted almost immediately to what might have happened. Sure enough, the next second, old Master Lu threw a thick stack of documents at him. "You bastard! Explain to me what is going on." White A4 papers and photos were scattered on the floor. Lu Jingli glanced at them. They were all photos and information about Ning Shi. Sure enough, Ning Shi's identity had been exposed. "Sai, why did it have to be at this time? When it rains, it pours." Old Madame Lu stared at her youngest son with a pained and angry expression. "Jingli, you really disappoint me. You can do whatever you want with other things, but this is your brother's marriage. How can you be so reckless and help your brother hide it from us? I thought it was some rich girl from a wealthy family. She's actually a lowly actress. His private life was also extremely chaotic. How can such a person be the daughter-in-law of the Lu family? How can she be the mother of my grandson?" Old Master Lu slammed the table heavily. When he thought about how he had left Xiao Bao in the care of this kind of person for the past few days, he broke out in a cold sweat and felt a lingering fear. What kind of aphrodisiac did that woman feed your brother? She can actually make someone as arrogant as Ting Xiao fall for someone like her. Fortunately, we discovered it early. Otherwise, were you going to wait for the rice to be cooked before telling us? This is ridiculous. The two old men talked for half an hour, one after the other. Lu Jingli tried to explain at first, but he didn't say anything in the end. He sat leisurely on the sofa opposite him and counted the tea leaves in his cup in boredom. Old Madame Lu glared at her. "Brat, are you listening to us or not?" Lu Jingli put down his teacup and blinked. Are the two of you finished? Now, can you let your little son, who has been scolded badly, say a few words?" Old Master Lu snorted coldly. "All right, speak. I want to see what else you can say." Chapter 273. Lu Jingli straightened his collar and stood up. First profession. Being an actor is a legitimate profession. There is nothing shameful about it. The entertainment circle is a bit messy, but I can't overturn everyone. I'm the boss of Xianxia Entertainment. Now that you have investigated her, you should also know that Ning Shi's been honest and has never used any shameful means since she entered the industry. Otherwise, her face alone would have turned purple, and she would not still be a newcomer until today. Second, education. Before Ning Shi went abroad, she was admitted to the Capital University as the top liberal arts scholar in City C. Later, she was forced to study abroad because she had a falling out with her family. She didn't receive any financial support from her family for 4 years and was admitted to the film school of NCCU with her own ability. Her grades were excellent, and she won scholarships every year. Why do you selectively ignore this? Third, private life. Every one of Ning Shi's boyfriends was a legitimate relationship. They were neither a third party, nor were they kept by rich businessmen. What on earth was wrong? You can accept that your son has had 800 girlfriends, but you can't accept that Ning Shi has had 8 boyfriends? Isn't this a bit too double standard? Let me remind you that it is the 21st century and men and women are equal. Fourth, birth and family background. The Ning family has become more and more unreliable in recent years. They don't want a real phoenix, but raise a pheasant as a treasure. But don't forget that Ning Shi's grandfather is Zhuang Zongren. They broke up with her because Zhuang Lingyu insisted on marrying Ning Yaohua. But Ning Shi is his granddaughter. This is a fact that cannot be erased. Zhuang Zongren's granddaughter is more than enough for our Lu family. You don't have any objections, do you? Old Master Lu and Old Madame Lu were both angry and didn't intend to listen to Lu Jingli's sophistry. But after hearing it, their expressions gradually changed. At this point, Lu Jingli paused. Fifth, I forgot to tell you the most important thing. What is it? Old Madame Lu hurriedly asked. Lu Jingli spread out his hands. The two of you are worrying for nothing. Just yesterday, Ning Shi has already rejected my brother. So do what you have to do. Ning Shi will not become your daughter-in-law, nor will she become your grandson's mother, nor will she have anything to do with our Lu family in the future. As soon as he finished speaking, there was an ear-piercing clang behind him. Lu Jingli and the two old men looked towards the source of the voice at the same time, and then they saw little Bao standing there with a ghastly pale face and the ground beneath his feet was covered in glass shards. Xiao Bao. Before the two elders could go over to comfort him, Xiao Bao had already rushed into the house and slammed the door shut. Lu Jingli sighed. This is great. Another one is going to die. After my brother was rejected, he locked himself in his room and hasn't come out since last night. Old Madame Lu was worried about her son and her grandson. She anxiously glared at Lu Jingli and scolded, "You damned child! Can't you be more careful with your words?" Now that Xiao Bao had heard it, what should he do? Xiao Bao likes that woman so much. Lu Jingli looked innocent. But this day will come sooner or later. Ningxi only promised my brother to stay with Xiao Bao for 3 months. The 3 months are almost up. Even if Ningxi didn't tell my brother, she would have to leave sooner or later. Chapter 274. You just said, your brother has been locking himself in the room? Old Master Lu muttered. Lu Jingli was about to speak when his phone suddenly rang. It was Cheng Feng calling. Second young master, save me. Got it, I'll be right there. As soon as Cheng Feng said that, Lu Jingli knew what was going on. He hung up the phone and shrugged at the two elders. I just got a call from my brother's assistant. He has already left for the company. I have to go support my comrades. Bye-bye. Looking at Lu Jingli's back as he left, the two elders sat there and looked at each other. Chongshan, this matter. What do you think? Old Madame Lu asked worriedly. Old Master Lu said with a cold face, let's wait and see. Who knows if that woman is playing hard to get? Old Madame Lu wanted to say something, but stopped. She thought to herself, your son has already confessed. Which woman would be stupid enough to play hard to get? Then what about Xiao Bao? This was the question she was most concerned about. I think Xiao Bao has completely recovered. It's not a big problem. Don't worry. When he stayed with us these few days, that woman was not by his side. Isn't he fine? But at the same time in the film city, she was lying on the bed with cold sweat on her forehead. Her body was convulsing and her expression was extremely painful. She had a beautiful dream. It was indeed a beautiful dream. She dreamed that she was wearing a white wedding dress and was slowly walking into the sacred hall while being held by the person who gave her hope and light. However, when the priest read the oath, the world behind her suddenly began to collapse bit by bit and was swallowed by darkness. The man held on her hand tightly, refusing to let go no matter how much she screamed at the top of her lungs. In the end, she was finally pulled into the hell behind her. Ding dong, ding dong. The hurried doorbell woke her up from the nightmare. She sat up abruptly and found that her whole body was drenched in sweat. Her head was about to explode. Last night, she almost couldn't sleep for the whole night. When the sky was about to brighten, she finally managed to sleep for a while. In the end, it was better not to sleep. Ding dong. The doorbell was still ringing persistently. Ningxi's head was dizzy. She stumbled to open the door. Who is it? I bought too much breakfast. Do you want to eat? Jiang Mai didn't finish his words. He stared at her face as if he had seen a ghost. Damn it. Your face is too scary. If the reporters accidentally see you, they might think that you're on drugs. Ningxi grabbed the breakfast from his hands. Don't make a fuss. I've never seen anyone break up. The corners of Jiang Mai's mouth twitched. I've seen others, but I've never seen you fall out of love. You're the one who makes others fall out of love. Ningxi took a bite of the crab robon. Then take it as an eye-opening experience for you today. Jiang Mai sighed and looked worriedly at her, who pretended to be relaxed. Ningxi, are you really okay? Shall I accompany you for a drink tonight? Ningxi narrowed her eyes and waved her hand. Sorry, I don't have an appointment. I already have an appointment tonight. Fuck, I was just pitying you. You already have a date? Fortunately, Ningxi's scene today was a battlefield scene. Her face was as black as charcoal. Even if she didn't look good, no one would be able to tell. Otherwise, the shooting would definitely be delayed. Although she tried her best to concentrate, she still made several mistakes in the end. Several martial arts moves almost hurt someone. Fortunately, nothing serious happened. Ningxi knew that she had a serious problem. She couldn't go on like this. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to continue filming. Chapter 275. Ever since Xiao Bao had overheard Lu Jingli's words, the two elders had been feeling uneasy. However, they heaved a sigh of relief when it was time for lunch. Xiao Bao opened the door and came out obediently. He obediently ate his meal, drank the soup, and even ate the fruits after eating. Everything seemed to be the same as usual. However, the little fellow's every move had always been full of vigor and vitality. At this moment, he was like a robot that was following instructions. After lunch, Xiao Bao took his drawing board and ran to the courtyard to draw. The two elders watched him secretly from afar. They wanted to see what the little fellow was drawing so that they could guess his mood. However, the little fellow just stared blankly and didn't move for the entire afternoon. I can tell with one look that our Xiao Bao is unhappy. Old Madam Lu's heart ached. Old Master Lu paced back and forth with his hands behind his back. He said in a low voice, "It's fine if it's completely severed. It's fine if it's just Ting Xiao getting a wife. But because of Xiao Bao, we can't be careless. How can you be at ease leaving Xiao Bao in the hands of a woman like that?" But what Jingli said today makes sense. Perhaps that girl isn't as bad as we thought. Furthermore, she has taught Xiao Bao well. Didn't you say that she's good? I was fooled by those two rascals. Old Master Lu got angry at the mention of this. He gave his wife a warning look. Don't be soft-hearted. There's no room for discussion. The most important thing for you now is to hurry up and choose a suitable wife for Ting Xiao so that he can give up on that woman. Choose what? You can choose if you want. My precious grandson is already like this. How can I be in a mood to do such useless things? What kind of words do I have to choose? Anyway, I'm not going. I want to accompany my grandson. You, late at night. Feilong Bay. A group of fashionably dressed young men were gathered together in groups of 3 to 5. One of them, a youth with short black hair, was particularly eye-catching. His entire face was drawn into an exaggerated skeleton, and his arms were tattooed with flowers. He wore a black earring on his left ear, and he was chewing gum while talking to the white-haired youth beside him. "Aka, is my car ready?" The white-haired young man, called AKA, patted the shiny motorcycle beside him. "It's ready. This is the one. Why don't you take a look?" The skull-faced young man looked at the car pickily and said reluctantly, "It's okay. It's not as handsome as my little black." Aka rolled his eyes. "Come on, it's good enough that I can get you this much in one day. By the way, Shizi, where's your car? Where's little black?" "It was sent to be repaired. I can't get it now," the young man said perfunctorily. Her car was still at Lu Tingxiao's place. Given the current situation, it was really inconvenient for her to take it, so she had to borrow one. Aka nodded and clapped his hands, gesturing for everyone to look over. "Is everyone here? Let me explain the rules of the competition." Starting from Wyvern Bay, the destination was Death Valley. The champion will be able to enjoy a night with our little princess, Xianxia. Oh, the crowd burst into cheers. At this moment, a sexy woman in the crowd slapped the back of Kay's head. "Bah, stinking rogue. One night stand. Dream on." Aka was still very happy after being hit. As if he had eaten honey, he laughed and said, "Ha, it's just a joke. Let's do it again. The prize is a kiss from our little princess, Xianxia. In addition, there's a prize of 50,000 yuan. Chapter 276. Aka grinned and moved closer to Xianxiang Bela. "Xianxiang Bela, just you wait. Your kiss tonight will definitely be mine." Xianxiang Bela rolled her eyes at him in disgust. Then she twisted her waist and walked to the skull-faced youth. She clung onto his shoulder like a snake. "Brother Shi, you can't lose. I hate those guys. I only like you." Actually, if the other party was Tang Shi, she would be more than happy to have sex for one night. Hey, Xianxiang Bela, you're too biased. Why do you hate us and only like Shizi?" The crowd began to protest. Xianxiang Bela put her hands on her hips. "Of course it's because, brother, she is the most handsome." Someone in the crowd was speechless. "Fuck. Every time he plays with us, his face is painted like a ghost. How do you know if he's handsome or not?" Xianxiang Bela snorted. "I just know. Handsome is not only about the face, but also the temperament. You bunch of uncouth men know nothing. Fine, fine, fine. We don't know. You, be careful. Shizi's face will be ugly one day, and he'll cry. Maybe he'll be a woman after he's naked. Ha ha ha. You guys. Hearing those guys ridicule, Xianxia stomped her feet in anger. She turned to the skull-faced youth who was familiarizing himself with the car. Brother Shi, torture them to death. The youth smiled and covered his eyebrows with his hand. Yes, my princess. Xianxia was immediately stunned. She was so excited that she almost fainted. Oh, my brother Shi is so handsome. Akin gnashed his teeth in jealousy. Fuck. This brat only knows how to act cool. I'll teach you a lesson today. The first place will definitely be mine. After the group of people finished their banter, the midnight car race finally officially began. Xianxia picked up the starting gun and stood at the starting point. Everyone, ready, start. Accompanied by a bang sound, all the motorcycles rushed out at lightning speed. Brother Shi, come on. I'll be waiting for you in Death Valley. Death Valley, as the name suggested, was a place with a high incidence of traffic accidents due to its narrow and steep terrain. However, it was also a paradise for many fearless extreme sports enthusiasts. Ningxi knew this group of people because she had a car race with them when she first returned to the country. In the end, they became friends after a fight. These people were all from the same racing club. Ningxi didn't join it, but she didn't go racing with her many times. However, as she became busier and busier at work, and later met Xiao Bao and Lu Tingxiao, she had less and less need to use this extreme and dangerous method to vent and ease her mood. Therefore, it had been a long time since she had come out to play with them, until tonight. Changing her name to Tang, Shi, and disguising herself as a man were both for convenience, especially in her current situation. She had to be extra careful when doing such things. The sound of the car engine rattled her eardrums, and the strong wind gave her the illusion that her soul was about to fly away. All the burdens that had been suppressing her and suffocating her were released at this moment. Even if it was just a moment of relief and peace, she couldn't help but chase after it like a moth to a flame. Shizi, I'll be going first. Aka's car buzzed and drifted past her at the corner. The corners of Ningxi's mouth rose a little. She didn't take it seriously and continued to drive at her own pace, maintaining the second place. Until the last lap. It was also the most dangerous lap. Chapter 277. Ningxi lowered her body, turned the handle, and suddenly sped up. At the steepest corner, she brushed the edge of the cliff and narrowly overtook Aka. Fuck! This lunatic. She really wants to die. Aka cursed in a low voice, exasperated. There was no suspense in the final result. No matter how powerful she was, she couldn't win against someone who wanted to die. At the finish line, Xianxia happily held the trophy and prize money like a little bird and threw herself into Ningxi's arms. She pursed her red lips and kissed Ningxi. Ningxi was not bashful. She smiled and took the initiative to let her kiss her. However, at the moment when she kissed her, she slightly moved her position. So the fragrant kiss did not fall on her lips, but fell on her cheek with a smack. Xianxia blushed and stamped her feet in dissatisfaction. Brother Shi, you are so annoying. Aka, who was next to her, watched his goddess kissing someone else. He was so angry that his eyes turned red, and he threw his helmet. Damn it, how can you kiss this face? Xianxia ignored him, took Ningxi's arm, and said coquettishly, Brother Shi, we also have an activity tomorrow night. Do you want to join us? No, you guys go ahead. Ningxi declined. Xianxia looked disappointed, and then curiously asked the question that she had always cared about. Brother Shi, I feel that you are so mysterious. What are you busy with every day? What do you do for a living? It's a secret. Ningxi gave a mysterious and evil smile, then waved her hand and turned to leave. Looking at that elegant back view, Xianxia, who was behind him, had a look of infatuation on her face. He was really handsome. He was the first man who was not interested in her honey trap. She must get him. Returning to the hotel in the early morning, Ningxi almost fell asleep as soon as she fell asleep. Although she had only slept for more than 3 hours in the morning, she was much more energetic than yesterday. Today was still a fierce battlefield fight scene, and there was also a big night scene. Ningxi performed perfectly from beginning to end, without any mistakes. When they finished, Guqixing was very satisfied. Not bad. Ningxi, you are much better today than you were 2 days ago. At this rate, we can definitely catch up. Ningxi was a little relieved. I will try my best to maintain it. Back at the hotel, Jiang Mai looked at her several times like a dog. Ningxi punched him angrily. Are you crazy? You're making me dizzy. Did you really become a golden retriever? Jiang Mai narrowed his eyes. Ning Xiaoxi, tell me the truth. Where did you go last night? Why are you acting like you're on steroids today? Let's sleep. What can I do? Nonsense. I rang your doorbell at 1 o'clock last night. You weren't in your room at all. Holy shit. Why did you ring my doorbell so many times? Don't change the subject. Ningxi, you didn't do anything illegal, did you? It seems like I broke the law. If I get caught, I'll be sent to the police station. Ningxi didn't tell Jiang Mai what had happened that night, so he could only worry about her secretly. He waited for her for 2 nights to make sure that she didn't stay out all night again. In the next 2 days, Ningxi's condition was maintained, and she was relatively stable. In the blink of an eye, it had been 3 days since her showdown with Lu Tingxiao. During these 3 days, Lu Tingxiao didn't contact her at all. She also deliberately ignored all news about him and put all her energy into work. But occasionally, she inexplicably thought of a certain night. Lu Tingxiao suddenly hugged her from behind and said to her, Ningxi, I miss you very much. It seems that I haven't seen you for a long time. Chapter 278. The Lu family's old residence. In the evening, under the sunset glow, Xiaobao sat motionlessly in front of the easel, his small figure looking especially lonely and pitiful. Xiaobao, come over for dinner. Grandma made your favorite squirrel-shaped mandarin fish. Xiaobao, Xiaobao. Old Madam Lu called him 5 or 6 times before Xiaobao finally responded. The little boy tidied up the easel meticulously, looked in the direction he had been looking at all afternoon, and then went into the house obediently. On the dining table, the table was filled with all kinds of dishes. There were all kinds of Chinese and Western cuisines. Xiaobao, eat more. These are all your favorites. Yeah, eat more. Come, Grandpa will help you. Xiaobao looked at the dishes on the table blankly, picked up his chopsticks, and picked up the nearest dish. Then, he lowered his head and began to eat, without any coaxing. Seeing that Xiaobao was so obedient, the 2 old men heaved a long sigh of relief. Old Master Lu glanced at his wife discreetly and said, I told you it would be fine. That night, Xiaobao ate a lot, even more than usual, and seemed to have a good appetite. 3 days passed peacefully, and nothing happened. Old Master Lu was very happy, and Old Madam Lu was finally completely relieved. However, on that night, a servant's panicked shout came from Xiaobao's room. Old Master, Old Madam, bad news. Young Master, come take a look. What's the commotion? What's wrong? The 2 hurried over. Then, they saw Xiaobao bending over and vomiting all over the floor. He threw up everything he had eaten that night, and he was still vomiting acid. Old Madam Lu quickly patted him on the back. Xiaobao, what's wrong with Xiaobao? Why is he vomiting so badly all of a sudden? Old Master Lu forced himself to calm down. He's just a kid. What's wrong with vomiting occasionally? Maybe it's just indigestion. Don't make a fuss. However, as soon as he said that, the little boy's body went limp and he fainted. Xiaobao, Old Madam Lu screamed. This time, even Old Master Lu could no longer stay calm. He turned pale with fright and shouted at the servants. What are you waiting for? Get the doctor. For a moment, the whole old house was in a mess. Old Madam Lu hugged the pale-faced Xiaobao and was so anxious that she almost lost her soul. She could not stop complaining to Lu Chongshan. It's all your fault for saying that everything is fine. Now it's all good. Are you going to torment my grandson to death before you're satisfied? So what if Ting Xiao was interested in that woman? She alone can make our Xiaobao happy. Even if she's a beggar on the street, I'm willing to let her in. You? What are you talking about? What about me? Am I wrong? I only want my precious grandson to be well. Xiaobao was so good before. He had recovered, but now it had become like this. My heart is about to break. Am I not sad? I'm doing this for Xiaobao's future. Now that I'm dead, what future do I have? Old Madame Lu seemed to have thought of something as she said. She hurriedly ordered the servant beside her. Xiao Rong, bring me the young master's drawing paper. Yes, madam. I'll go right away. The maid quickly brought over Xiaobao's painting from the afternoon. The two elders hurriedly looked at it carefully. They saw that Xiaobao's drawing was blank. But when they got closer, they saw a line of words written in pencil in the middle of the canvas. Aunt Xiaoxi Xiaobao is obedient. Why don't you want Xiaobao? Old Madame Lu could no longer hold back her tears after reading it. How is Xiaobao fine? He's forcing himself to be obedient. He clearly can't eat, but he's forcing himself to eat. He clearly wants to make a scene like before, but he's forcing himself to be obedient just because he promised him to be obedient. Chapter 279. At night, the building of Lu Group was brightly lit. 3 days ago, the entire Lu Group had entered the first level of alert mode. Winter was coming early in the vice president's office. I know you guys feel wronged, but you guys were in the wrong first. My brother was in a good mood, and you guys relaxed. Now you guys are miserable, right? The only way now is not to let my brother catch you guys. Then he won't be able to do anything to you. I know you guys are afraid of him. Damn it. Am I not afraid? I'll fucking send them all to hell. Damn it. I'm the one in the most danger now. How dare you guys cry to me? Lu Jingli was struggling to deal with the nth wave of complaints from his employees when his personal phone rang. It was a call from a more troublesome person. Mom, what's wrong? I guarantee that woman didn't look for my brother. My brother didn't look for her either. You can ask anyone in the company if you don't believe me. My brother has been working 24/7 for the past few days. He hasn't taken a single break. On the other end of the phone, old Madame Lu hurriedly interrupted him. Jingli, quickly ask your brother to come back. Something happened to Xiaobao. Lu Jingli's expression changed. What did you say? Didn't you say that Xiaobao was fine and we don't have to worry? Why did something happen the moment he turned around? What happened? Xiaobao isn't feeling well, and his condition isn't very good. Hurry up and ask your brother to come back. Hurry. Lu Jingli slumped on his desk like a dead fish as he looked at the phone. Sigh. The days without sister-in-law's protection were like grass. No one would ask for help anymore. It seemed like he had to go in himself. He really didn't want to die. Lu Jingli walked to the CEO's office, trembling. He took a deep breath and was about to knock on the door when a group of people swarmed in. The next second, his arms were stuffed with all kinds of documents and plans. Lu Jingli shouted at the top of his lungs. Damn it, you little bastards. Just you wait. Damn it. The moral degeneration of the world was getting worse. They were all waiting for him. Second young master, please. You're our only hope. That's right, second young master. We have no choice. Only you, second young master, have a chance of coming out alive. Please help me. Don't flatter me. All of you, get out of here. Lu Jingli chased them away and knocked on the office door. There was no need for him to blast them. In an instant, not even their shadows could be seen. Come in. A man's gloomy and hoarse voice came from the office. Brother, these? Lu Jingli couldn't finish his sentence. He almost choked to death as soon as he entered. He took a few steps back before he could recover. Holy shit. Is this the scene of Hitler's gas massacre? How much did he smoke? The curtains were not drawn and the windows were not opened. Aren't you afraid of suffocating yourself to death? Lu Jingli put the documents in his arms on the table and hurriedly pulled the curtains to open the windows. Lu Tingxiao leaned back in his chair, his expression hidden in the shadows. The cigarette between his fingers had burned to the end, almost burning his fingers. The lunch and dinner sent by the secretary were still on the coffee table. None of them had been touched. Lu Jingli sneaked a peek at Lu Tingxiao as he put down the documents. From the corner of his eyes, he caught a glimpse of a stack of documents beside Lu Tingxiao's hand. They were all about the Jiang family. Chapter 280. Lu Jingli turned pale with fright. Oh my God, was his brother going to mess with the Jiang family? Was he really going to disown them? Even if the Jiang family was not related to them by blood, they were still related to Jiang Mai's mother. His parents doted on the daughter of their old friend very much. However, Lu Jingli thought about it carefully and felt that something was wrong. Given his brother's character, if he really wanted to do something to the Jiang family and Jiang Mai, he would have done it long ago. It was impossible that nothing had happened in 3 days. What was going on? What's the matter? A cold voice suddenly sounded in the air. Lu Jingli shivered and came back to his senses. He hurriedly said, Yes, yes. Mom and Dad just called and said that Xiao Bao is not feeling well. They want you to go back as soon as possible. Lu Tingxiao pinched the cigarette between his fingers and lit another one. Get the car ready. Okay. Lu Jingli quickly slipped out, his heart rejoicing. Fortunately, his brother was not so inhumane that he would not even recognize his own son in the old house of the Lu family. Old Madame Lu was pacing anxiously outside the door. As soon as she saw Lu Tingxiao, she immediately went up to him. Tingxiao, you're finally back. Go and see Xiao Bao. Lu Chongshan looked dissatisfied. You still know to come back. Xiao Bao is sick, but you don't answer your phone. You can't reach him. Do you deserve to be his father? Lu Tingxiao's pale and sickly face was emotionless. He said calmly, Didn't you find me a woman? I can let those women take care of me. Lu Chongshan's eyes widened. You bastard. Is that what you say? Xiao Bao is his son. You don't take care of him, but you expect strangers to take care of him? Lu Jingli coughed and couldn't help muttering. Dad, can you be reasonable? It was you who insisted on finding strangers to take care of Xiao Bao. My brother found a reliable girl to take care of Xiao Bao. It was you who didn't trust my brother's taste. Now my brother agreed to let you choose, but you're still not satisfied. What do you want? You. Lu Chongshan couldn't say a word. At last, his face changed. You brat, I was almost tricked by you. You didn't have the ability to pursue her. How can you blame me? I've been discovered. Lu Jingli rubbed his nose, then rolled his eyes and said, But, you mean as long as my brother has the ability to woo her, you won't object? Lu Chongshan snorted. Don't try to play tricks with me. Hurry up and take a look at Xiao Bao. What happened to Xiao Bao? What do you feel uncomfortable? Lu Jingli asked. Old Madame Lu wiped her tears. It's probably because that woman has been teaching him to listen to us, so he's been very obedient these days. He eats and rests normally without any abnormalities. Until today, not long after dinner, Xiao Bao suddenly vomited everything he ate and fainted. As old Madame Lu spoke, she took out a piece of drawing paper, and her tears fell even harder. Later, when I saw the words on this drawing of Xiao Bao, I realized that he was not fine at all, but had been enduring it all along. Lu Jingli took the drawing paper and glanced at it. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, then he burst into tears. Fuck, I Xiao Bao am too pitiful. A motherless child is like a blade of grass. That's right, my heart aches. The mother and son hugged each other and cried. Chapter 281. Lu Chongshan looked at his eldest son, who was like an ice sculpture, and then at his wife and youngest son, who were hugging each other and crying. He was in a terrible fix. Stop crying, you two. Look at yourself. Xiao Bao is fine. Didn't the doctor say that it's just indigestion caused by depression? Old Madame Lu panicked. What do you mean fine? He's depressed, and that's fine? Xiao Bao has just recovered from his autism. What if he gets depression again? How can it be so serious? How can a child get depression? Just then, the door to Xiao Bao's room opened and Qin Mufeng walked out. He coughed lightly. Old Master Lu, from a medical point of view, children can get depression too. And based on Xiao Bao's condition, there are indeed signs of it. Listen, you should believe the doctor's words. Lu Chongshan's expression was solemn as he said in a low voice, Then can you find a girl who looks like that woman to accompany Xiao Bao? Isn't there a term in psychology called empathy? About that, Qin Mufeng did not want to be too direct and was deliberating over his words. Lu Jingli did not have any reservations and replied directly, Dad, Xiaobao is just an introvert, not a retard. You're going too far with your lies. Come here, you brat. I'll beat you to death. Lu Chongshan, who had been choked twice, was infuriated. He was about to chase after him and hit him when Lu Tingxiao raised his hand to block him. Lu Jingli was so touched that he almost cried. Ouch! His brother was actually protecting him. You two brothers, are you really trying to piss me off? All right, what's with the noise? You're being so loud. Don't scare Xiaobao. Old Madam Lu hurried to smooth things over. Tingxiao, hurry in and see Xiaobao and persuade him. In the room, Xiaobao was indeed as obedient as Old Madam had said. When Lu Tingxiao entered, the little fellow was holding a cup and drinking medicine by himself. How could Lu Tingxiao know how to persuade others? His cold expression didn't even change. He just said mechanically, everyone has their own life and choices. Excessive ties will only be a burden. You should learn to let go. His expression and tone seemed to be saying, my condolences. Xiaobao's expression was blank, as if he didn't understand what his father meant. After a long while, his big eyes were filled with sorrow. Old Madam Lu was instantly flustered. I told you to coax him. Why are you lecturing a 5-year-old child? Then he held his forehead and sighed. I'm really confused. What's the point of calling this blockhead back? He might as well not have come back. This made Xiaobao even more upset. Jingli, be a good boy. Come and try it. Let me do it. Lu Jingli scratched his head and walked over. He said softly, Xiaobao, why don't I sing for you? Cough, cough. Bottle Gourd Brothers. Bottle Gourd Brothers have 7 flowers on one vine. They're not afraid of wind and rain. La 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 la. In the next second, Xiaobao's originally dull and lifeless eyes quickly became moist, and tears rolled down his cheeks. Old Madam Lu's heart was broken. She was so angry that she hit Lu Jingli's back. You bastard. What song did you sing to make Xiaobao cry? Lu Jingli felt wronged. Fuck. You're blaming me? I sang such a cheerful song. He used to like listening to his Aunt Xiaoxi sing the most. Well, it seems I shouldn't have sung this song. Chapter 282. They had accidentally caused Xiaobao to become sentimental again. Go, go, go. All of you go. All of you are useless. What's the use of you? If you can't think of a way to pacify Xiaobao, don't eat dinner tonight. Old Madam Lu lost her temper and chased Lu Tingxiao, Lu Jingli, Qin Mufeng, and Old Master Lu out. In the next few days, the entire Lu family failed to pacify Xiaobao. Instead, the little guy became more and more depressed. He still ate well, but often vomited after eating. He slept well, but always had nightmares, and his spirit was getting worse. Lu Chongshan hired a whole psychological team from abroad, but it was of no use. They all said that Xiaobao needed medication, or else he would need long-term medication and treatment to control the deterioration of his condition. Lu Chongshan was furious. If he could give Xiaobao that medication, why would he need to hire them? Medication was 30% poison. That woman was at least 70% poison. How would he dare to give it to Xiaobao? How important was the role of a mother to a person's life and growth? Xiaobao was the only child in the 3rd generation of the Lu family. If something happened to Xiaobao because of his wrong decision, how was he going to explain it to his ancestors in the Netherworld? At night, at Baichuan Hotel, because the filming had been going well recently, Guo Qixing specially invited everyone for a meal so that they could relax. Miss Xin has worked hard recently, especially Ning Shi. She has a lot of scenes. I'll treat everyone to a better meal when we're done. Cheers. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Thank you, director. In the corner, Ning Shuiluo's fingernails dug into her palms when she heard Ning. She has a lot of scenes. But she could only maintain a polite smile on her face. Now that all the funding for the crew was provided by Lu Group and Xianxia Entertainment, it meant that she had no one to rely on. Luckily, she knew that the crew would not dare to replace her as the female lead. Even after what happened to her, she still had a lot of loyal fans due to her popularity and status. She might as well endure it for now. No matter how much Ning she wanted to be in the limelight, it was all for her. Golden Era had spent so much money, but it was all for someone else. After that incident, everyone in the crew was obviously a little estranged from Ning Xiaolao. They all surrounded Ning, Shi, and Jiang Mai to talk. The two of them were even more popular than the male and female leads. Ning Xiaolao felt a little awkward being ignored, so she went to talk to Zhao Xizhou, who shared the same fate as her. Xizhou, the fish today is not bad. Try it. I don't like fish. Zhao Xizhou's attitude was cold. After Jiang Mai's arrival, he had been suppressed by Jiang Mai. In the end, he was implicated by this woman and had less scenes. How could he be nice to her? Oh, forget it then. Ning Xiaolao could no longer maintain her composure. She quickly got up and went to the bathroom. In the bathroom, Ning Xiaolao trembled with anger and swept all the things on the washstand to the ground. Ning Shi, you could be complacent now. Just wait and see. I won't let you be complacent for too long. Sure, I'm waiting. You. Ning Shi. A voice suddenly came from behind. Ning Xiaolao was startled. When she turned around, she saw Ning Shi standing behind her calmly. Chapter 283. Ning Xiaolao regained her composure quickly and said disdainfully, "Oh, Ning Shi, I thought you had a powerful backer. It turns out that you are just an actress." Ning Shi and Jiang Mai's scandal had been spreading like wildfire these days, so she knew it immediately. She had secretly sent people to keep an eye on them, but she didn't expect that before she took action, her fans would expose her. And contrary to her expectations, this incident didn't cause a blow to Ning Shi like last time. Instead, it made her gain a lot of fans and popularity. Damn bitch, she really got Jiang Mai. No wonder she could sign with Xianxia so easily. Although she called Jiang Mai an actress, she knew clearly that Jiang Mai was not just an actor. Jiang Mai's mother, Tan Jingxian, was the adopted daughter of the Liu family, so Jiang Mai had to call them grandpa and grandma, and Liu Tingxiao uncle. Even if they weren't related by blood, they were still very close to each other. Because of the Liu family's backing, the Jiang family's business had been growing in recent years. Jiang Mai was the only son of the Jiang family, so he would definitely inherit the family business in the future. However, with Jiang Mai's temperament, how long could he play with Ning Shi? Could it be that she could marry him? What a fool. You look down on an actress so much. Then what are you? Ning Shi raised her eyebrows. I'm the daughter of my parents, the eldest daughter of the Ning family. Of course, I'm nobler than you. Ning Xiaolao said proudly. Obviously, she was deliberately showing off that Ning Yaohua and Zhuang Lingyu didn't hold a grudge against her because of that incident. She chose this industry not only because she enjoyed the feeling of being sought after and getting what Ning she couldn't get, but also because she had a wide network of contacts. Thanks to her, Ning Xiaolao helped Ning's international group negotiate a big contract so that she could walk out of the shadow of framing Ning Shi. But she had to be more careful in the future. With that in mind, Ning Xiaolao was suddenly emboldened. She said arrogantly, "You sold yourself for a mere 8 million. Do you think a person like you is worthy of being compared to me?" Uff. Ning Shi suddenly sneered when she heard that. "What are you laughing at?" Ning Shi looked at her leisurely. 8 million yuan. Ning Xiaolao frowned. Ning Shi, don't be sarcastic. What do you mean? Ning Shi shook her head and sighed. Miss Ning, I'm sorry. I didn't expect you to be so stupid. You still don't know where I got the 8 million. Ning Xiaolao snorted. Didn't you sell yourself to Jiang Mai? Would I not know? The corners of Ning Shi's mouth lifted slightly. She suddenly leaned close to her ear and whispered, My 8 million penalty fee. Didn't you give it to me personally? What? I gave it to you. Ning Shi, are you crazy? How could I? Ning Xiaolao couldn't go on. Her eyes suddenly widened. Ning Shi, it's you. It's you who threatened me. Yeah, it's me. Are you going to bite me? This is blackmail. I'm going to sue you. I'm so scared. I'm scared to death. You. Ning Xiaolao nearly fainted from anger. She had never expected that the 8 million yuan, which made her so distressed, went into Ning Shi's pocket and paid the penalty fee for her. Now that this matter had finally been resolved, she couldn't mention it again. Besides, she had no evidence. She had tried to find someone to crack those anonymous emails and accounts, but to no avail. In the end, she could only suffer such a big loss. Chapter 284. After Ningxi left, Ningxi calmed herself down and then called Su Yan. Brother Yan, can you pick me up after the party is over? I'm sorry, Xianxia. I have a dinner tonight, and it may be very late. Can I ask the driver to pick you up? Hello? There was no sound from the other end of the phone. Su Yan hurriedly asked, Xianxia, what's wrong? Are you crying? What the hell happened? Xianxia choked with sobs. Brother Yan, I'm so sad. Everyone in the crew is trying to please Ning, Shi, and Jiangmai. No one talks to me. I just asked Ning Shi what happened between her and Jiangmai out of concern. I told her to tell me if she needed money and not to do anything stupid. But she said a lot of nasty words and said I didn't deserve to care about her. Su Yan sighed. Xianxia, there have been many rumors about Xiaoxi and Jiangmai recently. She was unhappy because you asked her that question. You even asked her if she needed money. Isn't it obvious that she got the money from Jiangmai? Ningxi didn't expect Su Yan to be so casual. She clenched her fists. Brother Yan, you've changed. Just because of that, you only trust Ningxi now no matter what happens, right? Her fans have taken photos of her and Jiangmai. They are so intimate in the crew. Everyone knows about their relationship. Do I need to tell you? Xianxia, it's not that I've changed. It's your mentality. You are so considerate. Why don't you try to stand on Xiaoxi's side and choose to believe her? Even if there is something going on between her and Jiangmai, can it be a normal relationship? If that's the case, we should also bless her. Brother Yan, I have to get busy. I'll talk to you later when I have time. When Ningxi returned to the box, everyone had finished dinner and were singing in twos and threes. I will charge through the world at will. I will look up to all. I will not need to look back. I will overturn the world. I will write my own laws. This ferocious wild wolf with shining eyes, Jiangmai's superstars in troubled times, won the applause of the audience. Seeing that Ningxi was back, he hurriedly called her over to sing. Ning Xiaoxi, come and sing. Is it still boundless sea and sky? This song was Ningxi's must-listen every time she went to a KTV. Every time, she would cry out, forgive me for being unruly and loving my freedom. But today, Ningxi waved her hand. I'll order it myself. What do you want? Jiangmai moved closer to her worriedly, worried that she would order something too explosive. After choosing the song, Ningxi leaned on the sofa, picked up the microphone, and began to sing. When I turn on the lights, the sight before me, the spacious room, the lonely bed, everything looks the same when I turn off the lights. The pain in my heart is indescribable. Jiangmai's face was full of horror. Shit, Ningxi, you change your style too fast. What about you, the one who sang Aniel's Flesh and Toxic? Ningxi rolled her eyes at him. This is not a private party. Why do you want to sing that kind of song on such an occasion? Ningxi had said that many of the songs she knew were not suitable for children. She was not joking. The 3 songs that Jiangmai mentioned were typical examples. When she was in China, she once got drunk and sang the song Flesh in a bar. That night, the whole bar was so high that the security guards couldn't control the scene, even though they had sent out 3 times the number of security guards. Chapter 285. Ningxi continued to sing. Life goes by with the years, with the white hair, with the departure of you, without a trace of happiness. Hearing this, Jiangmai sensed that something was wrong. Why did he feel that she did not choose this song randomly, but sang it for someone? I miss you so much. I miss you so much, but I don't show it. I miss you so much. I miss you so much. I miss you so much. I still pretend that I don't care. I miss you so much. Jiangmai's face suddenly turned green. Sure enough, she was singing for someone. At this moment, no one knew that there was a slender, cold, and arrogant figure standing at the door of the private room. The man was just passing by, but when he walked to the door of the private room, he suddenly froze there and did not move. Seeing that he did not leave, his companion next to him couldn't help but say, Boss Lu, is there a problem? Boss Zhang and Boss Wang are still waiting for us upstairs. Quiet. A strong cold pressure suddenly pressed down, and his companion instantly fell silent. At this time, a girl's lazy and low voice came from the private room. I miss you so much. I miss you so much, but I lie to myself. I miss you so much. I keep it a secret. I miss you so much. I hide it deep in my heart. Until the girl stopped singing, the man still stood in the same place for a long time. Late at night, the old house of the Liu family. In the yard on the bluestone steps, the man held a cigarette in his hand and did not take a puff until it was burnt out. No one knew what he was thinking. Brother, it's already so late. Why haven't you done anything? Lu Jingli rushed over anxiously. Lu Tingxiao pinched the cigarette, but between his fingers. What? Lu Jingli glanced at him. Don't play dumb. Didn't you set up such a big trap to lure the old man to city just to call Cici over tonight? The old man will be back tomorrow morning. If you don't call Cici now, it will be too late. Look at our Xiaobao. Even if you don't feel sorry for him, as a second uncle, I feel sorry for him. Don't be depressed when the time comes. You can try, but the possibility of her agreeing is basically zero. Lu Tingxiao said as he got up and walked into the house. Impossible. With my silver tongue, I can definitely persuade her to come over. Lu Jingli took out his mobile phone confidently. After the gathering, the cast and crew left. As soon as Ningxi returned to the hotel, her phone rang. Looking at the caller ID, Ningxi's expression changed slightly. It was Lu Jingli. She didn't pick it up for a long time. The phone kept ringing until it hung up automatically. After a while, the phone rang again. Ningxi hesitated for a moment and finally pressed the answer button. Hey, little Cici, are you asleep? No, the gathering just ended. Second young master, what's the matter so late at night? There are too many things that Lu Jingli wanted to say and complain about. He immediately said, Little Cici, what did you say to my brother that day? After he came back, he didn't say a word and locked himself in the room for a day and a night. After he came out, he acted as if nothing had happened. He worked for 3 days and 3 nights without eating or sleeping until my mom called to say that Xiaobao wasn't feeling well. Only then did he return to the old house. In these days, Xiaobao isn't feeling well? What's wrong with Xiaobao? Ningxi immediately caught Lu Jingli's point and interrupted him. Lu Jingli mourned for his brother for 3 seconds. Sure enough, little Cici was still most concerned about Xiaobao. Poor thing. Chapter 286. Dr. Qin said he's a little depressed, Lu Jingli said in a heavy tone. Depressed? Why would he be depressed for no reason? How is he now? She had not heard from the Lu family these days. She thought that the best news was no news. She thought that Xiaobao had finally recovered with her efforts. Otherwise, with Xiaobao's personality, if he really made trouble, Lu Jingli and the others would have come to find her. She did not expect this. Now the situation is getting worse. The doctors have come a dozen times, but it's no use. Cici, come and see Xiaobao. Where's Xiaobao now? He's at the old house. My parents are here. Ningxi was silent for a few seconds, and then her tone suddenly changed. Lu Jingli, you're hiding something from me. No. What can I hide from you? Xiaobao felt uncomfortable a few days ago. You should have come to me at that time, or at least called me, but you didn't. You didn't tell me until now, in the middle of the night, and urged me to come. Besides, Xiaobao is still at the old house. Ningxi paused, and then continued. Old master and old madam, do they know who I am? They don't agree to let Lu Tingxiao be with me, and they don't allow me to get close to Xiaobao, right? This. Lu Jingli had always been good at guessing other people's affairs. It was the first time that he had been completely exposed. He suddenly muttered with a bitter face, Cici, why are you so quick-witted all of a sudden? Get lost. I've always been so quick-witted. Ningxi rolled her eyes, pinched between her eyebrows, and said in a tired tone, Second young master, you know that it's not appropriate for me to go with Lu Tingxiao given the current situation between me and him, not to mention the factor of your parents. I promised Lu Tingxiao to accompany Xiaobao for 3 months. In fact, tomorrow is the last day of the agreement, and I have to leave sooner or later. Even if I go this time, what about the next time, and the time after that? Xiaobao has the most authoritative doctors, grandparents, and you to take care of him. I believe that after a long time, he will forget me. Ningxi said all this in one breath. She didn't know if she was talking to Lu Jingli or herself. Of course, she was worried about Xiaobao, but if she went to see him now, she was almost sure that her heart would soften the moment she saw him, and she might even agree to all of his requests. She had already persisted for so many days, so she could not let her efforts go to waste. But sister-in-law, a heart disease needs medicine to be cured, and a bell needs to be untied. Xiaobao's illness is actually because he misses you. He looks forward to your return every day. Do you really have the heart to? Hey! A hasty beeping sound came from the other end of the phone. Lu Jingli was instantly confused. Fuck! He actually failed. It seemed that little Cece had made up her mind this time. What should they do? My poor Bauer. Lu Jingli had no choice but to dejectedly report the situation to his brother. After looking around, he found him in Little Treasure's room. Lu Tingxiao was sitting at the head of the bed, and Xiaobao was lying on the bed with his eyes closed. He didn't know if he was asleep or not. The little guy had not been sleeping very well recently. Lu Tingxiao knew the result just by looking at Lu Jingli's expression. He looked as if he had expected it. She refused. Chapter 287. Lu Jingli could not bear to tell Xiaobao the bad news. After hesitating for a long time, he nodded reluctantly. I've told her everything I can, but she's really determined this time. The worst thing is that she guessed that Mom and Dad already know her identity and their attitude toward her. Give me your phone. Lu Tingxiao reached out his hand. Huh? What do you want my phone for? Lu Jingli hesitantly handed over the phone. Lu Tingxiao picked up Lu Jingli's phone, pressed the password to unlock it, and took a photo of Xiaobao's room. Then he opened WeChat, found Ningxi's contact, and sent the photo to her. Fuck, brother, how did you know my phone password? This is too much. You have no privacy at all. Lu Jingli snatched his phone back in dissatisfaction. As soon as his voice fell, there was a ding sound. There was a new message. She replied so quickly. Lu Jingli hurriedly opened it to see what Ningxi had said. As a result, he saw a lot of exclamation marks. Lu Jingli, you bastard. You win. I'll be right there. Fuck. Xiaoxici, why are you scolding me? Brother, what the hell did you send? I'm so wronged. You're the one who sent it, but I'm the scapegoat. How can you do this? Lu Jingli complained, then quickly opened the picture to see what was behind it. After reading it, he finally understood. His brother sent Xiaobao's picture to Ningxi. There were only a few lines of small words on it. Even a man like him could not stand it. What would Xiaoxici's reaction be when she saw it? It was completely conceivable. Fuck. It was useless no matter how he tried to persuade her. As a result, she immediately changed her mind after his brother sent her the picture. If that was the case, why didn't she send the picture from the beginning? Then, Ningxi sent another message. Your brother, he's also at the old house? Lu Jingli was about to reply subconsciously, but before he could type, his hand was empty. Lu Tingxiao had taken his phone. Lu Tingxiao sent 2 words, not at home. Ningxi immediately replied, that's good. I'll be there in about half an hour. Lu Jingli mourned for his brother for the second time. That's good. These 3 words were really heart-wrenching. There was no reaction on Lu Tingxiao's face. He said expressionlessly, I'll leave later. Go bring her in. Oh, I got it. Lu Jingli nodded. After Lu Tingxiao was done with Lu Jingli, he walked over to Xiaobao's bedside. Xiaobao, I have a few things to tell you. Little Treasure didn't respond. Lu Tingxiao said, it's about your Aunt Xiaoxi's safety. You know what will happen if your grandfather finds out that she came to see you this time? Xiaobao still did not open his eyes. Lu Tingxiao knew that he was listening and continued. Remember what I'm about to say. The only person who can protect her now is you. At the same time, at the Junlai Hotel, Ningxi ran out in tears. When she saw what Xiao Bao had drawn, all of her unshakable principles and concerns, all of her 81 lines of defense, went to hell in that instant. Bastard. She really wanted to strangle Lu Jingli. Why did he show her that picture? How much determination did she have to make to not see Xiao Bao? Now she just wanted to do something illegal, such as stealing Xiao Bao back. Chapter 288. Fortunately, the car borrowed from Akka last time was still there. Ningxi quickly changed her clothes and hurried to the old house. She rode to the back door of the old house according to Lu Jingli's instructions. From a distance, she saw Lu Jingli already waiting there, pacing back and forth anxiously. "Little Cici, you're finally here. Where's Xiaobao?" "In the room. Follow me." "Is it really okay for me to go in like this? Will I be discovered?" "It's okay. My father went to City A today and won't be back until tomorrow morning. I've tried to send away all the servants. In fact, my mother doesn't object now. She just wants Xiaobao to be happy. It's just that my father is too stubborn and can't be persuaded." Lu Jingli complained as he led the way. In the courtyard, Ningxi walked halfway and suddenly stopped. She raised her head and looked up. "Little Cici, let's go." "What are you looking at?" Lu Jingli was puzzled. "Nothing. I always feel like I'm being watched. Maybe I've been a little neurotic recently." Ningxi scratched her head and continued to walk forward. Lu Jingli wiped his sweat and subconsciously looked up in the direction of the attic. He thought to himself, "Little Cici, you're not neurotic. You're too sensitive. His brother is hiding in the attic." Lu Jingli took Ningxi to Xiaobao's room. Dang, 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 dang. "Xiaobao, look who's here." Xiaobao was sitting on the bed in a daze and did not respond to Lu Jingli's voice. Lu Jingli touched his nose awkwardly and made way for Ningxi. "Come here." It was probably because of the feeling of homesickness. When she came here, she was eager to go home, but when she was in front of Xiaobao, Ningxi did not know what to do or say. Her mind kept repeating the words, "Aunt Cici, Xiaobao is good." Why don't you want him? She underestimated Xiaobao's feelings for her and cruelly thought that he was just a child who would naturally forget him after a long time. She did not know how much damage it would cause to his heart. "Baby, I'm sorry." Ningxi gently held Xiaobao's hand. She had not seen him for only a few days, but Xiaobao had lost a lot of weight. Xiaobao's eyelashes only trembled slightly, and there was no other reaction. After saying this, Ningxi fell silent. Other than saying sorry, she didn't know what else to say, because she couldn't make any promises. She couldn't promise him that she would always be with him. She couldn't irresponsibly coax him with such words. However, she had to think of a way to cheer Xiaobao up. Lu Jingli looked at Little Treasure, who was still in a daze, and then looked at the silent Ningxi. He couldn't help but feel anxious. Why was this scene different from what he had imagined? Why isn't Xiaobao reacting? Could it be that Xiaobao's condition was so serious that even Ningxi couldn't make him better? "Second young master, I have a presumptuous request." Ningxi suddenly said. What is it? Say it." "Can I take Xiaobao with me tonight?" "Huh? You want to take Xiaobao away?" Lu Jingli was shocked. "Yes, I have to be on guard at all times to see if anyone will come over. I can't talk to Xiaobao properly. Moreover, if I'm not wrong, Xiaobao has already been here for many days, right? Right now, he really needs a change of environment to relax." Chapter 289. Lu Jingli pondered and said, "The psychiatrist also mentioned this, but Xiaobao doesn't want to leave the old house at all. I guess he must still be waiting for you to take him home." Ningxi's heart tightened a little when she heard this. "It's just that it's a big decision to let you take Xiaobao away. I don't dare to promise you casually." Lu Jingli was in a dilemma when his cell phone suddenly rang. He opened it and saw that it was from his brother. If she wants to take Xiaobao away, let her go. Damn it. Why did his brother guess little Cece's thoughts again? Caught off guard, he was showcased in the face. After receiving the imperial edict, Lu Jingli quickly changed his mind. "Little Cece, you take him away. You could take Xiaobao anywhere you want. I'll leave him to you." Ningxi's face darkened as she looked at Lu Tingxiao, who changed his face faster than flipping a book. Didn't you just say that this decision is too big for you to promise me casually? Lu Jingli said in a matter-of-fact tone. I don't dare to promise you casually, but I've thought about it carefully now, so I'm not saying casually. I'm serious about it. Ningxi was speechless and then said, Don't worry, I'll send Xiaobao back before tomorrow morning. Sure, but where are you going to take Xiaobao to relax in the evening? What's wrong with the evening? It's so romantic to relax in the evening. Ningxi looked at him disdainfully, then took out her makeup bag and began to put on makeup. Strictly speaking, it was a disguise. Practice makes perfect, and Ningxi quickly put on a futuristic, sci-fi-style robot makeup on her face, then put on a short wig and earrings. Ningxi's painted skin looked like it was not flesh and blood, but muscles and bones made of various metals. It looked very cool. Lu Jingli was amazed. Little Cici, why did you paint your face like this? But it's so cool. It looks like our family's robot housekeeper #1. Ningxi snapped her fingers. This is a necessary skill for an actor who wants to maintain a free soul. TSK, this skill is quite good. No one can recognize you on the street. Lu Jingli said, and from the corner of his eyes, he found that when Ningxi was putting on makeup, Xiaobao's originally dull eyes finally focused, and he was staring at Ningxi without blinking. After Ningxi finished her makeup, she put her hand under Xiaobao's armpit, gently picked him up and put him on her lap, and then picked up the makeup tools. Lu Jingli raised an eyebrow. You even want to draw Xiaobao? Just in case. Xiaobao's face is even more handsome than mine. Okay? Besides, how cool would it be to draw the same thing as me? Don't worry, these pigments are edible. They're not harmful to the skin. After saying that, he began to paint for Xiaobao. Xiaobao sat in Ningxi's arms, obediently and motionlessly. He was really the most cooperative little model. Therefore, Ningxi drew very quickly and finished in less than 5 minutes. Wow, too cool. I want it too. Lu Jingli's eyes sparkled. Ningxi snorted. Go away. Don't ruin the combination of me and Xiaobao. Lu Jingli squatted on the spot and drew circles. Okay, since you've helped me and Xiaobao so much, I'll paint for you next time when I'm free. Now I'm going out with Xiaobao. That's what you said. Don't fool me. I'll make an appointment with you for Halloween. No problem. Lu Jingli was finally satisfied and quietly led Xiaobao and Ningxi out of the yard. Chapter 290. At the back door of the old house, Ningxi held Xiaobao in one hand and took out a small child's safety helmet from the locker of the motorcycle with the other hand. Then, she took out a seatbelt. The corner of Lu Jingli's mouth twitched. You're well prepared. You've had the idea of abducting Xiaobao from the beginning, haven't you? If I didn't know better, I would have thought that you were looking for someone to elope with. So what if I elope? Ningxi helped Xiaobao put on the safety helmet and then secured it behind her waist with the seatbelt. Hold on tight, baby. Let's go. Watching Ningxi leave with Xiaobao, Lu Jingli muttered speechlessly, I really don't know if Cici has made up for Xiaobao's lack of maternal love or paternal love. Under normal circumstances, it should be the father who takes his son on a motorcycle in the middle of the night, right? How could a mother take her son on a motorcycle in the middle of the night? However, to let Lu Tingxiao take Xiaobao on a motorcycle, how could that be possible? Therefore, he really felt that Cici was amazing. She could be both a mother and a father. Tonight, the moon was bright and the breeze was gentle. The weather was good, which was rare. The speed is 70 miles per hour. The mood is freedom. The destination is the Aegean Sea. The dream is on the other side. We want to wander the world. Running with the wind. Freedom is the direction. Chasing the power of thunder and lightning. Putting the vast ocean in my chest. Even the smallest sail can sail far. Ningxi drove the motorcycle that usually went 400 miles per hour to 40 miles per hour. She hummed a little song and took Xiaobao on a night tour of the capital city. After driving for a while, a familiar buzzing sound of a motorcycle engine suddenly came from behind. She turned around and saw that it was Aka and his gang. Aka and his gang also noticed Ningxi in the front. Xianxia, who was in the back seat of Aka, said excitedly, Akka, slow down. Why does the car in front look so much like the one you lent to Brother Shi? Akka slowed down and turned on the lights to look at the license plate number of the car in front. Yes, that's the one. Hurry up, Xianxia urged excitedly. She waved her hand and shouted, "Hey, Brother Shi." After the two cars were parallel, Xianxia immediately complained, "Brother Shi, you're too much. The last time we asked you to play with us, you didn't agree. Now you're here alone. Since we've met, let's have a match. The old finishing point." Akka instantly sped up, and the other cars behind quickly followed. Soon they were out of sight. It was dark at night, and Xiao Bao was wearing the same black coat as Ning Shi. So those people didn't see that she was carrying a baby behind her. She strolled behind him unhurriedly. She reached out and touched the little hand on her waist. "Baby, hold on tight. I'm going to speed up." As soon as she finished speaking, Xiao Bao's little hand clearly tightened its grip on her clothes. She sped up and rushed out with a buzzing sound tonight. The road that Akka and the others were running on was not as dangerous as Death Valley, which required a lot of skill. It was just an ordinary road, which only required a lot of speed. "Baby, are you happy?" She shouted in the wind. After a while, a small head wearing a hard hat lightly knocked on his back. That gentle knock almost melted Ning Shi's heart. "Do you want to go faster?" Her little head knocked again without hesitation. Ning Shi smiled and continued to speed up. Of course, Ning Shi's so-called acceleration was only relative to the speed of 40 kilometers per hour. It couldn't be compared to Akka and the others' speed. When Ning Shi brought Xiao Bao to the finishing point, Akka and the others were squatting on the ground in groups of 3 to 5, smoking. Some of them were so bored that they took out their poker cards and played a few rounds. Chapter 291. Seeing Ning Shi riding over unhurriedly, Akka snuffed out his cigarette, rolled up his sleeves, and rushed up to him. "Fuck, you're messing with us. How many kilometers are you driving? I have such a high-quality motorcycle, and you're using it as an electric scooter? Are you looking down on me?" He had finally beaten him once, but he did not feel any sense of accomplishment. Instead, he was ridiculed by everyone. It was more humiliating than losing. "That's right, Shizi, you're too much. We've been waiting for you for half an hour. Brother Shi, you're so annoying. You made me lose a kiss, but I won't keep my promise. Akka had an unfair advantage. We'll have to compete again before I'm convinced. Let's do it again. I'm not afraid of you. I'm going to beat him fair and square." Everyone was talking noisily, and Ning Shi did not reply. She took off her helmet, got out of the car, parked the car, and then carefully carried Xiao Bao out of the back seat. Brother Shi, what's in the back seat? Why do I look like a kid? Shizi, did you kidnap him from somewhere? We can't do such a wicked thing." "That's right. Shizi, you're always so mysterious. Are you part of some child trafficking gang?" Ning Shi took off the safety helmet on Xiao Bao's head, rolled her eyes at the group of people speechlessly, and shouted angrily, "Bullshit. This is my son." "What? Brother Shi, you have a son?" Xianxia looked as if the world was collapsing. "You actually have such a big son? How is that possible? Fuck. Shizi is married? And he even has a son?" In an instant, everyone gathered around to look at the little boy beside Ning Shi. The happiest person was Akka. He was exasperated just a moment ago, but now he was overjoyed. "Shizi, good brother. You're good. You even have a child. You're so promising. Look at your son's fair skin and big eyes. TSK. Be honest, your wife must be a beauty, right?" "Well, my wife." Ning Shi touched her chin, and Lu Tingxiao's cold and beautiful face appeared in her mind. "She is indeed a great beauty." Akka instantly laughed. "Ha ha, I knew it. Xiang, you can give up now." Xiang stomped her feet and clung to Ning Shi's arms in tears. "I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Brother Shi, how beautiful is your wife? Is she as beautiful as me? Don't you like me at all? You clearly let me kiss you." The moment Xiang Bela got close to Ning Shi, she suddenly felt a chill run down her spine. She lowered her head and saw that the little pink dumpling, who was clearly so cute, was looking at her with a pair of cold eyes, like a little wild wolf defending its territory. Ningxi coughed lightly, picked Xiaobao up, and patted him comfortingly. The moment the little fellow was picked up by Ningxi, he changed from a little wild wolf to a cute little bun. His short little hands held Ningxi's neck, and his little head obediently rested on her shoulder. Ningxi comforted the little bun while looking at Xianxia apologetically. Sorry, Xianxia, that's just the rules of the game. If there's any misunderstanding, I'm very sorry. I only have my son's mother in my heart. He's the only person I love the most in my life. Ningxi took this opportunity to make Xianxia give up. Chapter 292. Tangxi, I hate you the most. Xianxia ran out crying. Ningxi punched Akka on the shoulder. Why are you still standing there? Go after her. Akka froze for a moment before he came to his senses. He gave Ningxi a fist bump and hurried after her. After chatting with them for a while, Ningxi helped Xiaobao put on the helmet again. Brothers, it's not convenient for me to take my son with me today, so I'll leave first. Next time, I'll treat you to some kebabs, barbecue, and beer. Shizi, you said it. Yes. Don't stand us up. By the way, remember to bring your beautiful wife for me to see. Haha. Yes, 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 bring her. Ningxi squinted at them and said angrily, Go away. I said she's a beauty. Do you think I'm willing to bring her to you hungry wolves to see? They all sighed. The darkness of the night gradually faded, and the sky began to brighten. Unknowingly, it was almost dawn. Ningxi drove along the road to a secluded alley. She smelled a tempting fragrance from a distance. Ningxi stopped the car and carried Xiaobao out. You must be hungry. Let me take you to eat something delicious. Holding Xiaobao's hand, Ningxi entered a seemingly old but very clean breakfast shop. She ordered a steamer of soup dumplings and 2 bowls of wonton. The soup dumplings were thin and the fillings were big. Ningxi dripped special sesame oil on them and sprinkled some chopped green onions on them. Soon, she finished 1 bowl and asked for a second bowl. She looked up and saw that Xiaobao had also finished a big bowl and was licking his mouth as if he hadn't had enough. Ningxi laughed. Your belly is only so big. You can't eat too much at once. 1 bowl is enough. Try another soup dumpling. This is delicious too. She picked up a steamed bun, dipped it in vinegar, and put it into a small bowl. This time, Xiaobao ate it slowly, as if he was reluctant to finish it. Ningxi propped her head up and looked at Xiaobao in a trance. The more she looked at him, the more uncomfortable she felt. She took a deep breath and tried to look away. After little Baozi finished eating the soup dumpling, his face was filled with disappointment and disappointment. Ningxi was about to blurt out, I'll bring you here to eat next time, but she swallowed it back. After breakfast, Ningxi looked at the time on her phone. It was almost 6 o'clock. There were still 2 hours before she had to send Lil Bun home, so she had to start work. This place was very close to Pearl River Imperial View. Ningxi directly took Xiaobao to her apartment and washed his face so that he wouldn't scare her parents later. Given how much those two cared about Xiaobao and how careful they were, they definitely wouldn't accept such a method. Xiaobao looked at his little face in the mirror, which had returned to its original state, and his eyes instantly dimmed. Ningxi picked up a pink oil marker from the dressing table and drew a pink nose and beard for him, making him look like a cute kitten. Then he quickly drew the same for himself. Meow, isn't it cute? Xiaobao touched the cat whiskers on his cheeks, and his complexion improved a little. Ningxi carried the depressed little Bun and sat on the bed. Baby, are you tired? Do you want to take a nap? Little Bun immediately shook his head, his eyes wide open. Oh, then what should we do? Let me think. Ningxi thought hard. There was only 1 hour left. What else could she do with little Bun? What else could she do to make him especially happy? As she thought about it, she didn't know why, but at this moment, her mood suddenly collapsed. She couldn't hold back the tears that she had been holding back for so long. Chapter 293. Maybe it was because she had been suppressed for too long. Although she knew that she shouldn't do this in front of Xiao Baozi, she couldn't help it. But she really couldn't help it. Xiao Baozi sat on the edge of the bed and stared blankly at Ning Shi, who was lying on the pillow and crying out of breath. He was stunned, and his big eyes were full of helplessness and panic. After a long time, he tried to pat Aunt Xiaoxi with his little hand, as she usually did to comfort him. However, as soon as he patted her a few times, Ning Shi cried even harder. Xiao Baozi was startled and didn't dare to act rashly anymore. His dark eyes were full of anxiety as he looked at Ning Shi, who was crying more and more sadly. His eyes were wet, and he also wanted to cry. But he couldn't cry. Aunt Xiaoxi still needed him. Xiao Baozi forced back his tears and took out a small mobile phone from his pocket. In fact, he hated this kind of cold thing very much. He didn't like that he could only contact his Aunt Xiaoxi through it, so he stubbornly refused to use it. He wanted Aunt Xiaoxi to hold him, touch his head, and kiss his face. This was the first time that Xiao Baozi had taken the initiative to use the new mobile phone prepared for him by Lu Tingxiao these days. Xiao Baozi quickly sent a message to his father in the address book. Cry in the study upstairs of the Lu family's old house. Lu Tingxiao, who was sitting at the desk, saw Xiao Baozi's message and immediately straightened up, almost knocking over the cup in his hand. He immediately replied and asked, "Who's crying? Aunt Xiaoxi?" Xiao Baozi replied. Yes, Lu Tingxiao immediately knew why Ning Shi was crying. However, in the face of his son's help, he was also at a loss. He really had no experience in how to coax a crying girl. Lu Tingxiao turned on the computer and began to research and search. After Xiao Baozi had urged him twice in a row, Lu Tingxiao hurriedly sent a picture to Xiao Baozi. The picture was a joke. Try this on her. Xiao Baozi hurriedly showed the picture sent by Papa to Aunt Xiaoxi, his little face uneasy. Ning Shi raised her head with tears in her eyes and vaguely saw a paragraph of text on the mobile phone handed over by Xiao Baozi. In the past, Apple and Pear were good friends, but then Apple was going to move, so they agreed to come back to this place after 10 years. 10 years later, the Apple returned to this place again. But after a long time, the pair still did not appear. Apple waited and waited, and in the end, it turned into plasma. Pooh! Ning Shi laughed halfway through her tears. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Baby, your joke is too cold. Moreover, she felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity. It was very similar to someone's style. I'm sorry, baby. Annie lost control just now. I'm going to wash my face. Ning Shi sniffled awkwardly and went to the bathroom. She had had enough. She had wholeheartedly tried to comfort Xiao Bao, but in the end, she had burst into tears in front of him. In the end, Xiao Bao had to comfort her instead. After Ning Shi entered the bathroom, Xiao Bao secretly replied to Papa. Laugh. Lu Tingxiao, who had been anxiously waiting on the other end of the phone, finally heaved a sigh of relief. Then, he reminded his son worriedly, Do you remember what I told you? Seeing Xiao Bao reply with an he was slightly relieved. At this moment, the door of the study was suddenly pushed open. Lu Jingli rushed in with a shocked expression, as if it was the end of the world. Brother, it's over. The old man is back in advance. And now he is at the door. Chapter 294. Lu Tingxiao nodded slightly. Lu Jingli was about to cry. What the heck? What does mean? Do you have any idea? With the old man's stubborn temperament, what if he was agitated and did something? Who could stop him? The worst thing was that he was the one who let Ning Shi and Xiao Bao go. He could almost foresee his miserable future. At this moment, footsteps were heard from downstairs, followed by the conversation between Old Master and the servant. How is Xiao Bao today? Old Master. Young Master is not awake yet. I'll go check on him. Old Master's mind was on his precious grandson, so the first thing he did when he came back was to check on Xiao Bao. Lu Jingli rushed downstairs and stood in front of Old Master with his arms wide open. Dad, are you hungry? Have some breakfast first. My mom has been busy in the kitchen since early in the morning. Let's eat later. I'll check on Xiao Bao first. Let's eat first and see, or it will get cold later. If it gets cold, get the servants to heat it up again. Then the nutrients will be lost. Lu Chongshan finally realized that something was wrong. His face darkened as he looked at him unhappily. Brat, did you get into trouble again? Lu Jingli laughed dryly and scratched the back of his head. I didn't. What trouble can I get into? At this moment, old Madam Lu walked out of the kitchen. Breakfast is ready. Wake Xiao Bao up to eat. It's not good to sleep too much. Oh no. There was really no way to hide now. Seeing Lu Jingli's strange expression and how he kept blocking Xiao Bao's door, the two elders sensed something was wrong. Lu Chongshan angrily walked past him and pushed the door open. The room was empty. Lu Chongshan's expression changed instantly. Where's Xiao Bao? The servant in charge of taking care of Xiao Bao, Xiao Rong, also turned pale and panicked. How could it be? Young master has been sleeping in the room. What are you doing? There are so many of you, and you can't even look after a child. Lu Jingli saw that he could not hide it anymore, and was about to bear the responsibility when a cold voice came from behind. Xiao Bao is not a criminal. Lu Chongshan reacted quickly and flew into a rage. Bastard! Where did you take Xiao Bao? Did he send it to that woman? You're worse than a beast. Xiao Bao is your own son, yet you're handing him over to a woman with bad conduct. At this moment, even old Madame Lu, who had been neutral all this while, could not help but say, Ting Xiao, you are really too reckless this time. How can you let Xiao Bao leave with that woman? Seeing that the atmosphere was getting more and more tense, Lu Jingli hurriedly said, Dad, Mom, I've been holding back for a long time. Even if you want to break my legs, I still have to say it today. Just like what my brother said just now, Xiao Bao is your grandson, not a criminal. How is this place any different from a prison to Xiao Bao if you guys guard him so strictly? Although Xiao Bao had been obediently staying here for the past few days, had he ever been truly happy? We're just letting Xiao Bao go to his good friend's place to play for a while with the Annie he likes. Do you have to make such a fuss? Bastard, have all of you forgotten how Xiao Bao became like this? After saying that, Lu Chongshan moved to slap him. Lu Tingxiao pulled Lu Jingli back and stood in front of him. In the next second, a slap landed heavily on his face. Chapter 295. Brother. Lu Jingli was startled. Brother, are you all right? Lu Chongshan looked at his hand, unable to react. He had beaten up Lu Jingli countless times since he was a child, but this was the first time he had beaten up his eldest son, who always gave him peace of mind. Lu Tingxiao wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and said coldly, I'd rather Xiao Bao died in that accident than live like this. You. Old Master Lu covered his chest and took a few steps back, almost fainting from the agitation. Old Madam Lu hurried over to support him. Tingxiao, you've gone too far. Even if your father and I had done something wrong, you shouldn't have said something like that. What's more important than living? Lu Chongshan finally caught his breath with great difficulty, and then he ordered his trusted subordinate, Xing Wu, go. No matter where Xiao Bao is right now, find him immediately and bring him back to me. Then he glanced at his two sons coldly. Both of you are not allowed to step into the old mansion from now on. Lu Jingli panicked. Dad, you're a dictator. Even Emperor Qin didn't do this. He was about to continue complaining, but Lu Tingxiao stopped him with a look. Lu Jingli had no choice but to swallow his words. It was true that the eunuch was more anxious than the emperor. What time was it now? Did his brother have any backup plans? There was no need for old Master Lu to send people out to look for Xiao Bao. Later, Ningxi would send Xiao Bao back herself. When the two sides met, it would be a bloody scene. He didn't dare to imagine it. Sure enough, just as Xing Wu was about to mobilize all his men to look for Xiao Bao, a servant rushed in and shouted excitedly, Master! Old Madam! Young Master is back. He's at the entrance to the backyard. What? Xiao Bao is back. Lu Chongshan stood up and asked with a dark face. Who is young Master with? With a girl? She's quite pretty. The servant answered nervously. She is. I like to see. What kind of ability does this woman have to make both of you protect her and speak up for her? Currently, Lu Chongshan's impression of Ning, she had fallen to rock bottom. In his heart, Ning, she was a scheming femme fatale. Old Madame Lu was originally neutral, but after experiencing such a terrible shock, she was completely on the same side as Old Master Lu. Thus, Old Master Lu, Old Madame Lu, Lu Tingxiao, and Lu Jingli, followed by a group of housekeepers and servants, all walked towards the entrance of the backyard at the same time. Ning, she was anxiously calling Lu Jingli. Just now, she seemed to see a little maid looking around. It seemed that she found her in Xiaobao. Would there be any problems? Damn it! Why can't I get through to Lu Jingli's phone? What was this guy doing? Just as she was burning with anxiety, Ning, she glanced at the yard out of the corner of her eye. The next second, she was stunned. She saw an old man with a dark and solemn face who looked especially scary at first glance. Next to him was an old lady who looked very well-maintained and elegant. Behind them were Lu Jingli and Lu Tingxiao, followed by a large group of servants. These people were walking in her direction in a grandiose manner. Ning, she was dumbfounded. What is big shit? Lu Jingli, you bastard. What the hell is going on? Chapter 296. Lu Chongshan's gaze immediately fell on his precious grandson, who was standing next to Ning Shi. After confirming that he was unharmed, his sharp gaze suddenly shot towards Ning Shi. Even though Lu Chongshan had abdicated for a long time, he had been in the capital for so many years after all. His aura was still very intimidating. Because Ning Shi had to go to the set later, she had already changed into her usual casual clothes and tied her hair into a simple ponytail. She was dressed very appropriately, but Lu Chongshan naturally did not notice this. His mind was filled with the sinister intentions of the woman in front of him. She had actually colluded with his two sons to abduct his precious grandson from his home for one night. This was simply too audacious. She was challenging his authority. Lu Chongshan walked straight towards Ning Shi aggressively. As he got closer and closer, the tense atmosphere was about to explode, but at this moment, something happened. Little Bun, who had been standing motionless beside Ning Shi, suddenly let go of Ning Shi's hand and ran towards Grandpa and Grandma with his short legs. When the two elders saw their precious grandson running towards them, they were so distressed that their hearts were about to break. Subconsciously, they thought that their baby must have been wronged, so they squatted down to comfort him. In the end, Little Bun ran in front of them, and his usually dull little face slowly blossomed into a big smile. The next second, under the extremely shocked gazes of the two elders, Little Bun leaned over and first kissed Grandma's cheek, then very impartially kissed Grandpa's cheek. At this moment, Old Master Lu, Old Madame Lu, Lu Jingli's mouth formed an O shape. All the helpers had a look of shock on their faces. Even Ning Shi, who was opposite them, was shocked by this scene. In the entire scene, the only person who was calm was probably Lu Tingxiao, who had everything under control. After about a full 10 seconds, the two elders still could not react. Old Madame Lu looked as if she was in a dream, her face full of disbelief. Am I dreaming? Our baby just kissed me. And kiss me too, Lu Chongshan added with a very serious expression. At this moment, his raging anger had been extinguished to the point that not even a spark was left. In order to maintain his dignity, he first tried his best to suppress his excited expression, then slowly stood up, put his hands behind his back, and looked at Ning Shi again. He coughed lightly and said, Miss Ning, right? Thank you for bringing our Xiaobao back. If you don't mind, please come in and have a seat. Old Madame Lu immediately echoed, Yes. Since you're here, come in and take a seat. I just made breakfast. Let's eat together. I just ate. Too much. Before Ning Shi could finish her words, Madame Lu had already warmly pulled her into the room. Ning Shi, Lu Jingli, who had been dumbfounded from the beginning to the end, was speechless. What the fuck? Being dragged halfway, Ning Shi was in a dilemma. In the end, She had no choice but to cast a pleading look at Lu Tingxiao, who she had been avoiding and did not even dare to look at. "Boss, help!" Lu Tingxiao looked at the girl who was begging him for help with a bitter face. The corners of his lips curled up slightly, and the frost in his eyes slowly melted into gentleness. Ning, she did not know what was going on either. Lu Tingxiao only looked at her lightly, and the huge waves in her heart instantly turned into a slowly flowing stream under the spring breeze. She was instantly at peace. Chapter 297. Brother. Dear brother, tell me honestly, were you the one who taught Xiaobao this move? Did you plan this from the very beginning? Were you waiting for this moment to counterattack? Damn it, since you had a plan, you should have told me. I was so scared that my soul almost flew out of my body. Lu Jingli wiped the sweat off his forehead, still in a state of shock. Lu Tingxiao took a look at his younger brother, who was about to collapse in fright, and explained, "You can't hide anything from your face. If father finds out that Xiaobao did this under the instruction of Xiaobao, he will only hate Ningxi more." My face. Can I really hide anything from you? Lu Jingli burst into tears. He could even set him up in such a reasonable way that he couldn't refute it. However, after the crisis was over, Lu Jingli quickly recovered and complained excitedly. "Brother, did you see the expressions of our parents just now? It was so funny. The old master was so happy, but he still pretended to be calm. But the old lady directly grabbed Ning, and ran away. She was like a robber. Cece was completely dumbfounded at that time." Lu Jingli recalled Ningxi's expression at that time and felt a lot comforted. At least there was someone who was as dumbfounded as him. In the retro Chinese-style living room, the long dining table was filled with all kinds of food. It was just a breakfast, but it was even more exaggerated than a banquet. In the end, Ningxi sat down at the dining table in a daze. Sitting opposite her were old Madame Lu, Xiaobao, and old Master Lu. On Ningxi's side were Lu Jingli, and Lu Tingxiao. Ningxi had no choice but to take the initiative to save herself. "Thank you very much for your kind invitation. I've already eaten." In other words, she had already eaten. "Let me go." At the same time, she was facing the devil on her left and the devil's parents on the opposite side. It was really stressful. "You've eaten?" "So has Xiaobao." Old Madame Lu asked immediately. "Yes." Ningxi answered cautiously and didn't say a word more. "What did Xiaobao eat this morning?" "Xiaobao ate a big bowl of wonton and a few steamed buns." "Oh, he ate quite a lot." Old Madame Lu nodded and asked with concern, "Did he vomit?" Lu Chongshan also looked over with a serious expression. She shook her head. "No." The two elders heaved a sigh of relief. "Then let's see if there's anything you like to eat. Just try some." Old Madame Lu said, as she personally brought her a small plate of lemon-fried fish steak. She could only grit her teeth and thank him. At this moment, Lu Chongshan coughed lightly and gave his wife a look. The old madam immediately understood and asked, "Miss Ning, I heard you took our Xiaobao out to play last night? It's finally here." She immediately tensed up. "Sorry, I didn't." She was going to admit that she had taken Xiaobao out without their permission, but at this moment, her left hand, which was placed on her knee, was suddenly covered by a warm palm. The grip was neither too heavy nor too light, as if it was a hint and a reminder. Because it was so sudden, she was scared like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. She almost jumped high on the spot and choked on a mouthful of food. She coughed violently. "Cough, cough, cough." Lu Tingxiao calmly poured her a glass of water and then fed it to her mouth naturally, as if he was not the one who had touched the girl's hand in private. Chapter 298. She didn't dare to drink from the devil's hand in front of so many people. She hurriedly brought the glass over in fear and trepidation and gulped it down. She had a bad habit. Whenever she was nervous, she couldn't help pouring food into her stomach. Looking at the subtle interaction between her son and the girl, how could Madame Lu, as his mother, not know what had happened? She just couldn't believe that her stubborn eldest son would do something like flirting with a girl. Why did it feel like a pig that had been raised for so many years could finally play with cabbages? At this moment, Lu Tingxiao hadn't moved his hand away. He turned over Ningxi's sweaty palm and wrote, "I" on it. After recognizing the word, Ningxi instantly knew what Lu Tingxiao meant. The devil was telling her not to admit it, but to push all the blame onto him. But isn't this not too good? While Ningxi was hesitating, Lu Tingxiao had already begun to scratch the softest and most sensitive part of her palm with his slightly rough fingertips. That ambiguous touch felt like it was directly touching her heart. Ningxi didn't dare to hesitate anymore. She hurriedly said, "Last night, Boss Lu suddenly called me and said that Xiao Bao was in a bad state recently. He hoped that I could accompany him and take him out to relax. So I came here overnight." Hearing Ningxi's words, Madame Lu and Madame Lu both looked at their eldest son discontentedly, and then they looked at Ningxi with a much softer expression. Especially Lu Chongshan. At first, he thought that this woman was taking advantage of his eldest son's favor to deliberately go against him. But when he learned that it was his eldest son's decision, and that she didn't know that they forbade her from seeing Xiao Bao, his anger at having his authority violated naturally subsided a lot. Madame Lu looked as if she had expected it, and then asked the question she was most concerned about. Where did Miss Ning take Xiao Bao to relax? How did you do it? The little baby, who had been depressed the day before, suddenly smiled so happily and took the initiative to get close to them like never before. If they could know the secret, wouldn't they be able to get kissed by their precious grandson every day? Lu Chongshan immediately put down his chopsticks and looked pious, as if he couldn't wait to take out his notebook to write it down. Lu Jingli looked at his parents' reaction and tried not to laugh. He thought to himself, even if you know, it's useless. The key point isn't where she took Xiao Bao to relax. How does she relax? It was Ningxi herself. Facing their eager eyes, Ningxi couldn't tell them that she had taken Xiao Bao to race, which would kill her, so she coughed and replied, "Actually, we didn't go anywhere. We just drove around the capital city with Xiao Bao." She wasn't lying. She was indeed going for a ride, but she wasn't driving an ordinary car, but a professional racing motorcycle known as Midnight Fury. After the two elders heard this plain answer, they were obviously a little disappointed. They were just going out for a ride, and Xiao Bao, who had never liked to be close to anyone since he was born, took the initiative to kiss his grandparents. Chapter 299. However, this seemed like an extremely simple matter, but on second thought, just the fact that Xiao Bao could obediently leave the house to play with her and even happily play for an entire night. Just this point alone, no one could do that except for Ningxi. Even Qin Mufeng, the psychiatrist who had studied Xiao Bao's condition for so many years, could do very little. They had thought that Xiao Bao could only communicate with simple words, but the two kisses today gave them a deep shock and surprise. It turned out that there was still hope for Xiao Bao to continue to recover. One day, he might even become an ordinary child, laughing happily and acting coquettishly with his family. He might even be able to speak. And the key to all this was this woman who they thought might hurt Xiao Bao. Therefore, the two elders' attitude changed from being resolute in the beginning to being in a dilemma now. Lu Chongshan looked lovingly at his grandson next to him. Xiao Bao's smiling and kissing face just now was really something that he would not hesitate to give in exchange. It was Mrs. Lu who had been asking questions just now. At this moment, Lu Chongshan finally couldn't help asking, "As far as I know, Miss Ning is an actress now?" Ningxi nodded. Yes. Ningxi became indifferent at this point. The Lu family was indeed powerful, but she didn't want anything from the Lu family, let alone become his daughter-in-law. There was no need to be afraid of him. "Miss Ning, how much do you earn now?" Lu Chongshan asked again. Hearing this question, she was a little puzzled. Why did Grandpa Lu ask her this question? But Lu Jingli and Lu Tingxiao, who were next to Ningxi, knew what their father was thinking. They immediately realized what Grandpa Lu was thinking. Although Ning, she couldn't figure out Lu Chongshan's intention, she still answered truthfully. My career has just started and my income is not high. My old company helped me with this film. After deducting the commission from the company, I got 50,000 yuan. Lu Chongshan nodded and then asked, Then, Miss Ning, are you interested in changing your profession? Change my profession? Ning, she frowned. Yes, I want to invite Miss Ning to the Lu family to be Xiaobao's private tutor. As for the price, it will definitely satisfy you. I can guarantee that even the highest paid artist in the entertainment industry right now doesn't earn as much as you do, Lu Chongshan said confidently. He was confident that no one would be stupid enough to reject such conditions. Why did she enter the entertainment industry? Wasn't it because the entertainment industry made money quickly? Then he would directly let her reach the heavens in a single step. He didn't believe that she could resist such temptation. Hearing Lu Chongshan's words, Ning, she twitched the corner of her mouth, and an imperceptible trace of arrogance and disdain appeared in her eyes. Since the other party was Lu Tingxiao and Lu Jingli's father, as well as Xiaobao's grandfather, she didn't say anything too harsh. Instead, she tried her best to reply in a gentle manner. I'm sorry, Mr. Lu. To each his own. She didn't want to say anything else, because the difference between them was too big. Even if she said more, he wouldn't understand. Ningxi's answer was completely beyond his expectations. Lu Chongshan's face was instantly filled with displeasure as he said in a deep voice, Miss Ning, are you saying that my conditions are not high enough? Chapter 300. Ningxi said, Old Master Lu, that's not what I meant. If you wanted to spend more time with Xiaobao, I can come over often to accompany him as a friend. So, you're rejecting me? Lu Chongshan's face darkened to the extreme. She didn't know if it was because Lu Tingxiao was by her side, but under the terrifying coercion of Old Master Lu, Ningxi still forced herself to say yes. How dare you? After all, Lu Chongshan had been in power for a long time and was used to everyone listening to him. How could he tolerate a little artist disobeying him? So, he suddenly exploded. Lu Tingxiao didn't say anything. He just quietly put his arm on the back of the chair behind Ningxi, completely showing his protectiveness. The moment Lu Tingxiao's aura approached, Ningxi's tense back immediately relaxed a lot. The atmosphere was in a stalemate. In the corner, Lu Jingli finally couldn't help but say, Dad, what's your logic? Xiao Cici only needs to say yes to my brother, and the whole Lu family will be hers. She doesn't even want to be my sister-in-law. Why would she care about your money? Lu Chongshan was so angry that he almost vomited blood. He slammed the table heavily. Brat, are you forcing me to use the family rules? Really, every time you can't win against her, you have to use the family rules. Lu Jingli muttered weakly. Seeing that both his sons were siding with an outsider, Lu Chongshan was really furious. Just as he was about to explode with a new wave of anger, he suddenly felt something soft patting his back. As soon as he turned his head, he saw Xiaobao gently patting his back with his little hand, as if comforting him not to be angry so that he wouldn't hurt his health. Once this god-level fire extinguisher was used, what fire couldn't be extinguished? Lu Chongshan immediately felt comfortable all over. It was more effective than taking elixirs. His voice was extremely gentle and kind. Good boy. You feel sorry for your grandfather, don't you? Lu Jingli looked at his father's extremely gentle attitude toward his grandson and felt extremely sad. Damn, why haven't I seen you being gentle with me even once? You're treating me differently. Why am I the lowest in the family? Am I really your son or not? Lu Chongshan snorted and said unhappily, Wait until you get married and lick my granddaughters and grandsons before you talk to me about status. Lu Jingli chuckled. Bye-bye, I'll continue to stay at the bottom. The price of raising one's status was too high. At this moment, a phone suddenly rang. She hurriedly took out her phone from her bag and saw that it was a call from Xiaodao. At this moment, she inadvertently glanced at the time on her phone and realized that she was already half an hour late. She answered the phone in a low voice. Hello, Xiaodao. Hey, Sister Shi, why haven't you arrived yet? The The filming had already begun, and the director was rushing them. I went to your room to look for you, but no one opened the door. Where did you go? Something came up, so I was delayed. I'm still in Eastern Zhejiang, and it'll take me at least an hour to get here. Help me apologize to the director. After hanging up the phone, she could only stand up and say goodbye. Thank you for your hospitality, but I still have to work today, so I'll be leaving first. After saying this, she looked at Xiaobao with a face full of reluctance. Chapter 301. Seeing that she was about to leave, old Madame Lu looked at old Master Lu anxiously, but old Master Lu looked gloomy and silent. Lu Tingxiao stood up, walked straight to Xiaobao, picked him up from the chair, and walked to she before putting him down. Go see your Aunt Xiaoxia off. Xiaobao nodded heavily and took Xi's hand. She looked at Lu Tingxiao gratefully, and then walked out of the courtyard with Xiaobao. Lu Chongshan was about to get up, but was stopped by old Madame Lu, who shook her head and said, "Forget it. It's just a walk." Lu Chongshan's face darkened, but he finally compromised. She held Xiaobao's hand and walked slowly along a short bluestone path. It took them a full 10 minutes to reach the gate of the courtyard. She thought of countless words to comfort Xiaobao along the way, but at this moment, she couldn't say a word. Xiaobao lowered his little head and refused to look up. After a while, he took out the writing board that he carried with him and began to write seriously. After she finished writing, Little Bun lifted up the writing board and showed it to Ningxi. She saw a paragraph written on it. Tagore said, "If you love her, let your love surround her like sunshine and give her freedom." After reading this sentence, she was stunned, and then the original sad atmosphere was all washed away. She couldn't help laughing and said, "Baby, you actually know Tagore? Where did you learn this sentence?" She squatted down and hugged Xiaobao tightly. Her heart was full of warmth. Thank you so much, baby." To be honest, she didn't expect that Xiaobao would show her such a sentence, which really moved her and made her heart ache. She was holding Baozi reluctantly and reluctant to let go. Suddenly, she caught a glimpse of a familiar figure behind Xiaobao, who was walking towards them. She hurriedly kissed Xiaobao, told him that she would find a way to see him when she had the chance, and then ran away. Lu Tingxiao looked at the girl's back, and there seemed to be a trace of helplessness in his eyes. Behind him, Lu Jingli laughed out loud. "Brother, little Cece runs faster than a mutant rabbit when she sees you." After he finished speaking, he glanced at Little Bun and sighed. Comparisons are odious. Now, I finally understood that no matter how much I talked, it couldn't compare to a kiss from Little Bao. If a kiss couldn't solve a problem, then 2 kisses would solve it. So, brother, why don't you just let Xiaobao use this trick to change Mom and Dad's minds and solve the biggest problem between you and Cece? That's not the biggest problem between me and her. Lu Tingxiao's tone was cold. Moreover, he also knew that today's proposal to let Ningxi resign to be Xiaobao's tutor was the most Grandpa could compromise with. However, his ultimate goal had been achieved. After seeing her influence on Xiaobao with his own eyes, the old man would never touch Ningxi again. Not long after Ningxi left, Lu Chongshan called his 2 sons to the study. "Seeing that you're doing this for Xiaobao's sake, I won't pursue what happened last night. However, I won't allow it to happen again. Dad, why did you make it so troublesome? Just let my brother marry her, and everything will be solved." How good would that be? It was rare that Lu Chongshan didn't get angry at Lu Jingli. He sighed and said, "Second brother, if you were the target of today's incident, I might agree to your marriage." Lu Jingli trembled with fear. "Dad, don't make such a terrible assumption, okay? It was simply making him hate him." Chapter 302. Second brother. If it's your wife, even if she's an artist, it doesn't matter much. However, your brother is different from you. He is the CEO of the Lu Group and the person at the helm of our Lu family. The choice of his wife is related to our entire family. Lu Jingli glanced at his brother as soon as the old man finished speaking. The frivolous look on his face disappeared and was replaced by a solemn look. Ever since he was young, he had been under his brother's protection and could do whatever he wanted. He had the right to choose the person he liked as his wife, but his brother didn't. Brother? Lu Jingli suddenly didn't know what to say. Lu Tingxiao patted him on the shoulder and looked at Lu Chongshan, who was sitting in front of the desk. A hint of arrogance appeared in his cold eyes as he said, "Father, apart from you and Mother, no one can influence my decision." What he meant was that the company, the family, and other people's thoughts didn't matter. The only thing he needed to care about was the opinion of those closest to him. Lu Chongshan was stunned when he heard this. Although these words were disrespectful to him, he felt a sense of pride and comfort from the bottom of his heart. Back then, it took him 20 years to stabilize his position, and every step he took was filled with trepidation. He had to think twice before making a decision, but he had forgotten that his son had spent a short 5 years to quell such a huge internal strife, and in those 5 years he had pushed the entire Lu family to a new height. Although his words were a little overbearing and arrogant, it wasn't frivolous. He did have the ability to do so. Lu Chongshan took a deep breath and sighed after a long while. Tingxiao, don't blame me for being too careful. You have to know that it's easy to get the world, but hard to guard it. It's definitely not a good thing to have such a weakness by your side. Lu Tingxiao's eyes rippled with gentleness and determination. I will prove that she's not a weakness. With that, he turned and left. Looking at his brother's back as he left, the guilt in Lu Jingli's heart turned into worship. Holy shit, my brother is so cool. After leaving the study, Lu Tingxiao went to check on Xiao Bao. The little fellow was lying on the windowsill in a daze, holding his cheek with a happy and disappointed expression on his face. Lu Tingxiao walked behind his son and rubbed his little head. You did well. Xiao Bao turned his head and looked at his papa blankly with his little head raised. What happened? Lu Tingxiao asked. Xiao Bao tugged at the corner of his clothes with her little hand, indicating for him to lower his head. Lu Tingxiao took the opportunity to bend down. In the next second, a soft kiss landed on his cheek. Lu Tingxiao, who had always been a strategist and had everything under his control, was completely stunned for the first time ever. After a few seconds, Lu Tingxiao finally reacted, but he didn't know how to deal with the current situation. In the end, he coughed lightly with a serious expression and said, "Be good." Puffed. Lu Jingli, who had been leaning against the door frame, burst into laughter. He inexplicably felt that his brother was too cute at this moment. When it came to flirting with girls, it turned out that there were things that he was not good at, such as how to get along with his son. Lu Tingxiao was stunned by his son's sudden kiss. Suddenly, his phone rang. It was from Butler Yuan. As soon as the call was connected, the old butler's excited voice came from the phone. "Hello, young master. Miss Xiaoxia is back." Chapter 303. At the same time, in the Platinum Palace, Ningxi was talking to the little maid at the door. "Dearest, most adorable Wan Wan, please let me in. I promise I'll leave as soon as I get my luggage." Ningxi put her palms together and begged. After leaving the old house, she asked for a half-day leave from the crew and came to the villa to get her luggage. Although 3 months wasn't a long time, she found that most of her things had been moved here unknowingly. So during this period of time, there were many things that she needed urgently, but she couldn't come over to get them. It was too inconvenient. Of course, the most important reason was that she knew the devil was in the old house, not the villa, so she took the opportunity to rush here. Unfortunately, things didn't go as smoothly as she had imagined. This time, the soft little maid refused to let her in no matter what. "Miss Xiaoxia, please don't make things difficult for me. I don't mean to let you in, but I really don't have the authority to open the door of the main house." Ningxi had no choice but to beg Steward Yuan. Steward Yuan was on the phone with someone. Seeing her come over, he hurriedly hung up the phone, coughed slightly, and turned to her as if nothing had happened. "Miss Xiaoxia, you're back." "Yes, I came back to get something." Grandpa Steward, could you open the door for me? Ning, she hurriedly begged. Steward Yuan looked a bit embarrassed and sighed. Miss Xiaoxi, as a servant, I shouldn't talk too much about my master's affairs, but I can't help but say something this time. I don't know what happened some time ago. As soon as young master came back, he asked all of us to leave the main house and then locked himself in there for a day and a night. Later, the access to the main house was blocked. So far, no one can enter except him. Steward Yuan paused and then continued. So if you need to go in, you can only contact young master to open the door. Hearing Steward Yuan's words, Ningxi recalled what Lu Jingli had told her before, but she had deliberately ignored all the information about Lu Tingxiao. Ningxi was stunned for a moment and then came to her senses in time. She said quickly, "Thank you. Forget it. I'm leaving. Goodbye, Grandpa Steward." She felt a little uneasy when Steward Yuan hung up the phone as soon as he saw her. Since I won't be able to get my luggage today, I'd better leave quickly. Seeing that Ningxi was about to leave, Steward Yuan became anxious. The eldest young master was still on his way. His young master had been depressed for so many days. Finally, Ningxi came back. How could he let her go like this? So, Steward Yuan hurriedly stopped her. Miss Xiaoxi, wait. Grandpa Butler, is there anything else? Ningxi stopped. Steward Yuan made an expression as if he suddenly thought of something and said, Miss Xiaoxi, I suddenly thought of a way to open the door for you. Really? Ningxi was pleasantly surprised. Yes, please wait here for a moment, Miss Xiaoxi. Okay, no problem. Sorry to trouble you. At this moment, Ningxi's heart was full of there is true love in the world. She did not doubt that the kind old housekeeper would cheat her. So, Ningxi waited in the same place, full of hope. As a result, she waited for more than 20 minutes. Chapter 304. Ningxi was so anxious that she scratched her ears and cheeks. She unconsciously picked the leaves of the trees in the flower bed next to her, and soon all the leaves were pulled out by her. Miss Xiaoxi, have a glass of juice. Wan thoughtfully brought over a glass of juice with all kinds of delicate snacks on the tray. Thank you, Ningxi gulped down most of the juice and asked anxiously, Wan, did you ask him for me? Why hasn't Steward Yuan come back yet? Wan was not good at lying, but she still tried to keep a smile on her face. She forced herself to calm down and said, Miss Xiaoxi, please wait a little longer. You should be back soon. Okay. She looked at the time on her cell phone and decided to wait for another 5 minutes. If Steward Yuan didn't come back, she had to leave. She didn't know why she felt more and more uneasy. Time ticked by, and these 5 minutes felt like a year to her. Finally, 5 minutes were up. Ningxi immediately handed the glass in her hand back to Wan. Sorry, Wan. I have something to do and have to go now. Please help me tell Steward Yuan. Wan's face suddenly changed, and she anxiously blocked Ningxi's way. Miss Xiaoxi, please wait a little longer. Just wait a little longer. Soon, just a moment. Ningxi couldn't see through Steward Yuan's face, but a simple girl like Wan was too easy to give herself away. Seeing her performance, Ningxi immediately realized that something was wrong, so she nimbly crossed Wan, lowered her head, and ran away. However, as soon as she crossed Wan and ran 2 steps, a slender and proud figure suddenly came in her sight. Sure enough. Ningxi held her forehead to cover her face, turned to look at Wan, and said bitterly and disbelievingly, Dear Wan, even you helped me cheat? There was true love in the world, but it was all fleeting clouds. She could no longer believe in this world full of tricks. Wan blamed herself so much that she almost cried. She kept bowing and apologizing. Miss Xiaoxi, I'm sorry. Looking at the little girl's tear-stained face, Ningxi couldn't get angry and could only brace herself to turn around and face the devil. Ningxi took a deep breath. Boss Lu, She came to get her luggage. Before he could finish, Lu Tingxiao said, Come in, with a frosty expression, and walked straight into the villa. Ningxi looked at the back of the devil, who seemed to be covered with ice. Her only reaction was to run, but Lu Tingxiao didn't seem to worry that she would have the courage to run. He didn't even look at her and just walked forward after saying that. The final result was Ning she indeed didn't dare to. After hesitating for a long time, she obediently followed him in. Behind him, Wan Wan and the old butler, who had successfully retreated in the corner, finally heaved a sigh of relief. Ning she trembled as she followed behind the great demon king. She casually looked around this place that she had not been to for a long time. The living room, the hallway, the stairs, the furnishings. Everything was exactly the same as before, but for some reason, it gave her a strange and cold feeling. Lu Tingxiao strode straight to the door of her room and opened it. Then he stood at the door, waiting for her, as if he already knew why she was here. Chapter 305. At this moment, facing the man's dark and deep eyes, Ning she stood still, full of panic and timidity. She didn't dare to go forward, until Lu Tingxiao lit a cigarette, leaned against the door frame casually, and his aura was not so oppressive. Ning she finally plucked up the courage to walk over. When passing by Lu Tingxiao, Ning Shi's speed was beyond the limit of human beings. She rushed in with a swoosh, leaving only an afterimage, which was comparable to the Qinggong masters in TV series. Suddenly standing in the middle of the room, Ning she was a little stunned. Her room had not changed at all. There were a few messy fashion magazines on the bedside, a yoga mat thrown aside casually, and an eyebrow pencil that she didn't pick up because she left in a hurry that day. Even the position of the broken pencil lead was still there. All this made her feel as if it was a lifetime ago, as if the time she spent here was a lifetime ago. Ning she didn't come to herself until the curtains were suddenly raised by a gust of wind. She began to pack up her things. First, she took out a big box from under the bed, and then began to pack up one by one. Clothes, shoes, cosmetics, toothbrush, towel, PSP game. Every time she put something in the box, her heart seemed to be empty, and she felt a dull pain. From beginning to end, she didn't dare to look at Lu Tingxiao. In this room, she didn't take anything except her own things. Looking at the little things that Lu Tingxiao had bought for her, she felt a sense of guilt as if she had heartlessly abandoned them. Finally, when everything was packed up, Ning she couldn't hide anymore. She took a deep breath and looked up at the man who had been standing quietly by the door. "Boss Lu, thank you very much for your care during this period. As for Xiao Bao, if you need anything, you can call me at any time. I will be there immediately." Speaking of this, she didn't know what to say at all. After struggling for a long time, she finally said those 3 words. Then, "I'm leaving." After that, Ning she bowed deeply to show her respect and deep gratitude, and then slowly walked out of the door, dragging the box. After this farewell, it was very unlikely that they would meet again in the future. After all, there was such a huge gap between them. They were people from completely different worlds. If it wasn't for Xiao Bao's accident, they definitely wouldn't have crossed paths for the rest of their lives. Ning Shi's face was gloomy. She walked out with a heavy heart. The moment she reached the door, her eyes suddenly flashed. Lu Tingxiao, who had been smoking silently without any reaction, suddenly placed his arm on the opposite door frame, blocking her way. "Well, President Lu?" Ning she was confused, not knowing what Lu Tingxiao meant. Lu Tingxiao said, "Ning Shi." "Ning Shi? Here." "Lu Tingxiao, you're quite bold." "Huh?" Lu Tingxiao said without rhyme or reason. Ning she was at a loss. "What does that mean?" Lu Tingxiao finished the last puff of his cigarette, stubbed it out, looked up at her, and said lightly, "Aren't you afraid that I'll lock you up here for the rest of your life?" "Ning Shi, calm down, boss." The moment he said that, she was so scared that she almost knelt down on the spot. How did she have the guts? Chapter 306. The moment the devil finished speaking, she was so scared that she almost knelt down. How could she be so daring? She had come in just now because she was too timid. That was why she had been scared out of her wits. At this moment, Xianxia felt as if her acupuncture points had been pressed. She kept pulling the box and was about to take a step forward, not daring to move. She carefully observed Lu Tingxiao's expression. Unfortunately, the devil was too skilled, and she couldn't tell if he was joking or being serious. Xianxia's brain worked quickly. Then an idea came to her, and she hurriedly said, "Who's that?" "Oh, Tagore." Tagore once said, "If you love someone, you should surround her with your love like sunshine and give her freedom." Lu Tingxiao's lips curved up imperceptibly when he heard that. Xianxia couldn't figure out what his faint smile meant, so she racked her brain and continued. Tagore also said that liking someone is unbridled, but love is restraint. Tagore also said that love is not to hold someone back regardless of the consequences, but to help him live freely. Lu Tingxiao looked at her calmly. Did Tagore say that too? Ahem, probably. Xianxia laughed dryly. Actually, her mind was in a mess. She had no idea who said those words. Anything else? Lu Tingxiao continued to ask. Xianxia nodded like a chick pecking at rice. Yes. Tagore also said that it's against the law to imprison someone. Lu Tingxiao's lips slowly curved into a smile. His cold fingers gently pinched her chin. Then, did Tagore say that your mouth is not suitable for nonsense, but for kissing? As soon as he finished speaking, his lips covered hers. Xianxia, you're the one who's talking nonsense. Tagore would never say such a thing. Startled, the box in Xianxia's hand fell to the ground with a thud. Then she heard another thud as the door was slammed shut. In the next second, Xianxia fell on the soft bed behind her with a thud while the world was spinning. She saw Lu Tingxiao standing in front of the bed, leisurely and elegantly taking off his jacket. She almost vomited blood when she saw this. She was shocked, and for a moment, a thought flashed through her mind that the way the boss undressed was so handsome and charming. She hurriedly shook her head to get rid of these messy thoughts and said anxiously, "President Lu, you must calm down. It's not worth it to break the law for a nobody like me. How about I teach you the mind-cleansing mantra? It's very useful." As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Tingxiao had already taken off his jacket and was leaning over. Seeing the man's overwhelming aura enveloping her, she finally couldn't take it anymore. "Lu Tingxiao, don't go overboard. Don't force me to attack you." After hearing the girl yelling his name in an unfriendly tone, a trace of satisfaction appeared on the man's face. Then, the man completely ignored the girl's warning and continued to approach her. "Motherfucker, if a tiger doesn't show its might, you'll really think I'm a kitten?" Xianxia immediately lifted her knee, and when Lu Tingxiao was blocking her, she broke free from his grip. However, before she could make a move, she felt a cold sensation on her wrist. Finally, with a kacha sound, her wrist was locked by a handcuff. Translator's thoughts: Lu_Kaixian, Lu_Kaixian, Lu_Kaixian_Kaixian. You're tuning in to the Eternal Immortal Ballad YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.